see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots, and a sexy body.
There we go. Yeah, I just got to edit everything. It's fine. So much editing to do, guys. All right, either way, welcome back to the Now You Made It Awkward podcast. This is episode 35, probably.
Damn.
I believe it's 35 because 34 was last week with the JDF episode. Well, we say last week. That was actually 2 weeks ago we recorded that, so that's the thing.
Magic.
So realistically, what's happening right now is we're getting caught back up. So we're actually, this will come out the week it's recorded, unlike what has been happening for the last week. And I am a very tired Shoky. You can follow me at all the Shoky related things down below in the description. And of course, I have Rikki.
What up, y'all?
And you can follow all the work he does for Nerd Rage Radio on the Facebooks. And of course, the Realm Hatton Project on the Realm of Collectors YouTube channel on Friday nights at 9 p.m.
Nailed it.
Eastern Standard Time. I should throw that in there. So either way,
whatever.
Look, I'm good at this sometimes.
Real American time.
And then we actually, real American time. There we go. And then we have actually a new Canadian.
We've upgraded. We got Canadian 2.0 now.
We got a different
Canadian 2.0. I'll take it.
There we go. We have the Rusty Mechanic coming to join us today.
Hey everybody, I'm the Rusty Mechanic.
And where can they follow your work, sir?
Oh, sorry. Am I supposed to throw that in there? Okay, self-promotion time. Yeah,
Yes,
so I do Transformers Masterpiece reviews on YouTube. I call my channel the Transformers Masterpiece Theater, so you can follow me there. I've also got another channel that I'm slowly building out that I just called the Rusty Mechanic, where I basically do everything else. Transformers Legend Scale. I've got reviews on other stuff like Voltron toys, some stuff I got from SHOKY, and a number of other things. Basically, whatever I can't fit into Transformers Masterpiece, I will toss into the other channel. So you can check me out there.
Yes.
Nice.
And you'll find his links down below as well, along with our other Canadian who visits sometimes with the Comic Relief Crusader. Unfortunately, we had to record this on a Sunday because Mike was actually wanting to join in, but now his new schedule is he works mostly the weekends and is available during the week. But due to
Mike, we now have your replacement in the wings, dude. You better fucking tighten up with that schedule.
Jesus Christ, Rikki. warn me when you're going to lean in like that. It's like,
oh, hey, Shoky, I'm leaning in.
Oh, thank you. So either way, yes, Comic Relief Crusader down below. We are Sans Dormammu because he is on location for work, unfortunately, for a while.
Crazy.
So hopefully he'll be back next week. We'll see what happens. But of course, this is also.
He said like all December was kind of fucked with that merger.
It was at least like, I forget exactly how long he said. It was like at least a couple weeks. And that was over a week ago. So, you know, it is what it is. And my schedule is so jacked up that I'm working double what I normally do. So, and 10 times the amount of work. So that's how things are going on my end. So right now on this Sunday, we have to record this. I'm working on laundry in the background, and I have to get back on reviews at the same time because tomorrow we're not going to have any power because they're replacing a transformer for our building here. So we're not going to have any power all day long. I have a doctor's appointment after work tomorrow. It's just, everything's insane. What the hell happened in December?
All day long, you should sit out there and yell random transformer lines at the people while they're doing it.
I don't know if that will make them go any faster.
I know, but it'll be funny.
It might be. All right. So either way, let me check and see if we have any comments or anything. I don't think we do, but let me go do a quick pass through on the channel. Guys, of course, if you want to contact the show, you can do so at NowYouMadeItAwkwardMail@gmail.com. If you're not just going to leave comments in YouTube itself, which we will also read if and when we get to them. Oh, we did pick up a subscriber this week, so that's good. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, guys, please. It would be great. Oh, actually, our JDF episode has a decent amount of views on it, so that's a good thing. You know, because our average is about 20, so whenever it gets above 40, I'm like, ooh. And so it's at 97 right now, so that's a good thing.
Jesus.
Yep.
It's firing off, ain't it?
Yeah, well, I also threw in the hashtag RIPJDF, you know, trying to
so
get
cool,
that in there.
People.
Well, it's like our Wakanda Forever review got a whole lot. Okay, so we do actually have a comment. Oh, this person changed their name because I definitely know them by a different name on YouTube. So on our Wakanda Forever review, we did get a comment that said, "Been waiting forever for this episode." I was like, I don't know why, but it says,
Wakanda forever.
yeah, exactly. So it says, "Gonna have to finish it later. Tuned out when the other dude said Namor spoke Aztec." So I believe you referred to Namor's native language as Aztec,
So
because it's not.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
whatever their
It's-
actual language is. I don't give a fuck. What am I, a history teacher? Eat my
Yes,
dick.
you are a
Tune
his-
that out, dude.
Ricky, you are a history teacher.
Okay.
Yeah, you teach us about history all the time. But it is for
History of these nuts.
for the layman, it's apparently Yucatec Mayan, more or less, which is like apparently one of like I think a dozen dialects spoken in that area. So it's like a super specific thing within a super specific thing.
And I don't think it was Mayan, because wasn't Mayan more Central and South America, and Aztec was like the Mexican and Yucatan area?
I'm gonna go with no, because that's not the way it was actually within this, because it's
Okay.
specifically Yucatec Mayan, so it's from the Yucatan Peninsula. So, but I mean, like between the Incas, Aztecs, and Mayans, you know, they basically covered a whole lot of Central and South America. So it's like, if you know better, fine. Also, they weren't like necessarily at the same time, you know, a few
Was
thousand
that
years
Will
of history.
coming in with that silly shit?
No, Will hasn't contacted us in a very long time. I think he's either very busy
You
or
broke
still. It wasn't me.
It was your show. It wasn't on this show, so it wasn't me for sure.
But it's not like, you know, if you got mad about that, that's silly. But I want to believe that Will has just been very busy. Okay, so either way.
Sorry, did you say Mesoamerican Mayan? Is that what you said? No, Yucatec.
Yucatec Mayan, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it's either Mesoamerican or Yucatec, according to the internet, and of course, we all know how accurate the internet can be.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's the problem.
More
Also,
importantly,
like,
if that's what made him stop listening, he could suck my taint. I don't care.
I'm sure that was a joke, but actually, that, like I said, that particular commenter goes by another name usually, so they just changed
Do
their
I know him?
handle. No, you wouldn't. It's a person who is very familiar with from most of my channels, so it's fine. No big deal. Okay, sorry, just clearing things out. Got to pull up my own notes here for what has happened in the last week. Boy, more than the last week. So realistically, like, because we didn't record last week.
Yeah.
And
Sorry about that.
no, you're fine. All right, so let's just roll into our weeks, and then we're going to talk about all of the crazy movie trailers that dropped this weekend out of nowhere. So I'm just gonna go first real quick. That way, Rusty gets a feel of how we do this. And you know, for those who have been here long enough, you know that the wife basically watches a whole lot of Netflix, whereas I tend to watch other streaming services. So to make up for that a little bit, the other day I started on my own Netflix a show called Mo. And it's actually the comedian Mo Amer, who's actually local to Houston. So it's kind of a fictionalized version of his life. And it's actually pretty cool because it takes place in Houston. Like he actually drives around Houston, goes to real places. And it's pretty cool because like within it, you know, he's suffering from a lot of depression issues. Like he loses his job because technically speaking, he's not illegal, but they haven't gotten their citizenship yet. Like they came here as asylums or asylees, I should say. And they applied for citizenship like 10 years prior, and it's just been getting pushed back. So a lot of it is about his culture, his family, and then his struggles. Like he gets addicted to lean after he loses his job.
That shit ain't no joke.
Which is no joke, and that's basically like liquid. I think what is it, like liquid codeine and a few other things mixed in and stuff like that. Very prevalent here, especially in the rap scene. We lost a lot of Houston rappers to that specific
purple stuff, man.
That purple drank. Yep.
And what was that, DJ Screw and all them used to be?
A lot of them. Yep. A whole lot of them used to rap about that and then have died from it. So it is. It's a pretty good show. Like it's pretty funny, but also kind of serious at the same time because he is a comedian. You know, he does a lot of stand up here, especially at the Improv and stuff like that. So I don't know where the show's going, so to speak. Like, I don't know if it's going to ultimately like end with him becoming a comedian or something within the show. But I like it so far. You know, it's pretty good. It's shot really well. Like I said, it's shot on location. Like there's a strip club that he's working at temporarily. It's a legit strip club. here in Houston. So it's
Nice.
the fact that they have the balls to legitimately use the actual locations and stuff like that is fun. They refer to Hurricane Harvey because like they were supposed to have their hearing like the week that Harvey hit, and then it got put off for 2 years. So like this is just from I think it was filmed last year. So like they refer to stuff within 2021 and 2022. So it's pretty cool. I'm going to keep on with it though. Speaking of Netflix as well, we watched Wednesday, and I know you and the wife are watching it. Did y'all finish it?
No, we're on like episode 5 or 6.
Okay.
Did you finish it?
Yeah, we finished it the weekend it came out. We blew
We're
through it.
on the episode. The last thing I saw was the statue being set on fire. That should tell you where we're at.
Okay.
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
That's it's not a spoiler.
Yeah, well,
it's just a.
Oh yeah, sorry. That was the last episode my wife and I watched too. Where they were doing the. They were with the normies, right? And they set that statue on fire. Yeah. That's the same one we're on too.
I got you.
Yep.
Okay, so you guys are literally on the same page. How are y'all liking it so far?
I think it's fantastic. I love it. Like it's. I saw a couple of comments online, right? People are like referring to it as like, oh, it's goth Harry Potter. I'm like, yeah, okay, sure, fine. But
it is.
It's still it is, but it's still an entertaining show. So I'm like,
yeah,
who fucking cares, right? So
that doesn't mean it's a negative thing either. That's just kind of a statement of fact.
Yes, it was the tone of the text. Although you know what text is like, right? You can't really read a tone of it, but it was the way they worded it, and I can't remember exactly how, right? But it was kind of like
they're sounding like snarky
So
assholes.
this show is just goth Harry Potter, like that's how they worded it, and I was like, okay, man, whatever. Yeah. But yeah, like and the girl that they've got playing Wednesday, I think she's doing a super fantastic job.
Yeah.
So while watching the show, before you go away from her, while we were watching the show, I was like, that young lady's pretty. And then my wife's like, yeah, she is. And I was like, who is she? And she looked her up and she pulled her up. That girl is 21 years old. So I can say she's hot. The one who plays Wednesday is hot, dude. Like I told my wife, I was like,
that's fair.
I was like, she's hot now. She's
Yeah.
like, yeah, she is. Yeah. And she's even without all the goth stuff, she's still pretty damn cute. Like, but she's hot. Like at first, I very like I don't know. She could have been a teenage actor, so I'm not trying to be no nasty pervert. So I was like, she's cute. She'll probably grow up and be beautiful. And then she looked her up, and I saw how old she was. Like she's hot. No, I agreed.
I made the assumption that everybody essentially was in their 20s because nobody looks like a real teenager except for
you make that kind of
Pugsley.
assumption. You make that kind of assumption and fuck around and say somebody's hot on the internet nowadays. You'd be in deep ass.
I mean, I'm going back to the 90s here where we had like 21-year-olds trying to play 15-year-olds, in every show. So like, it's like because I just look at it, I'm just like, none of these people actually look that young realistically. And it's not like I'm fapping to these things or anything, but like, I mean, I've heard a lot of dumb negative shit about the show, and I'm just like, it's kind of like, it's kind of like how we've talked about Marvel in the past. It's just like, sometimes you just got to turn it off and just enjoy what you're given instead of looking for every negative thing to bitch about.
I like it because it's a little more serious. Like the old school Addams Family stuff is very slapsticky. Yeah, this one's a little more serious than that.
There's a little slapstick stuff, but because it's framed through Wednesday's point of view, it's actually super serious the way she is. But anytime Gomez or Morticia come in, things get a little weirder.
Luis Gomez.
Or Guzman,
I can't do him as Gomez.
I can't either. He's too much, and I said this in our chat. Like he's like a literal troll, and he doesn't have the suaveness. But young Gomez, the guy who played young Gomez that we see briefly. That dude was kind of attractive. Like I'm just like,
I got schooled on this.
Yes,
I guess according to the old school, actual legitimate Addams Family comics that the show and shit was based off of.
He was short and round,
look like a little troll. He's like a short, fat, dumpy looking dude.
Yeah, so it's the same thing in the animated one.
Closer to the real him, and I'm like, I don't give a shit. Hashtag not my Gomez. I don't give a shit.
What do you think, Rusty?
I just like the occasion. So talking about the slapstick humor stuff that they actually like, they do like these little mini shout outs throughout the show, right? Like at some point, Wednesday was having a conversation with one of the guys, right? And she said, I prefer the word kooky.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And to open the statue, right? To
snap the fingers.
The secret, right? It was 2 snaps. I was like, come on.
Yeah.
That's
so
amazing.
Yeah.
By the way, the other thing, I didn't realize it when we started watching the show, my wife actually pointed it out, but the woman that's playing the redheaded teacher.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Christina Ricci.
Yes.
Yeah,
Christina
she's
Ricci,
the original Wednesday.
from the movies, yeah.
Which is why it's weird when she doesn't talk down to her, but anytime she refers to her directly by Wednesday, it's a little weird. I'm just like,
Really?
come on.
So? Yeah.
Talking about yourself in the third person.
Yeah. So the only other criticism I have for it is I think that what's her face? Why did I just draw a blank? Catherine Zeta-Jones is too hot for Morticia. She's not odd enough looking.
Did you ever see Christina Ricci dressed up as Morticia?
Yes. Which is, and that was great. But like, but Christina Ricci is also a little odd looking in the same kind of way we talked about a few weeks ago with the Little Mermaid and stuff like that, where you know, like we have like they're pretty, but there's something odd, and that's kind of the thing with Morticia, and even with Angelica Houston, like way back in the day, she was elegant, but creepy looking at the same time. I think that Catherine Zeta-Jones is basically just hot. Like it's just it's a little too much. Like even the younger version of Morticia we see at some point is like almost fits it better. And just like it's like they kind of nailed what we feel with the younger versions, and the older versions are a little weird. I did like the Pugsley, the kid who plays Pugsley though. And he reminds me of somebody, and I can't think of who it is. Like somebody I know personally. I'm just like, this kid just looks familiar. Given where you guys are at right now, I don't know if the next big character has come in just yet, so I'm going to leave it at that. But one thing I love is that while everything else still feels very real, it kind of gives a real vibe to this world. The monster looks like a big fucking cartoon.
Yeah, like the CGI on it just seems really terrible.
But it's on purpose. It's clearly on purpose because most of the other CGI done is actually pretty good,
I guess.
So, well, you'll see later. There's some more supernatural stuff coming.
Yeah.
That looks really good on screen comparatively, and so it literally leans to the idea that it's purposely looks that way. It looks like a Scooby-Doo character.
Yeah.
And since they crossed over at some point, and I think I think there were some hints because like they drop in little things like here and there, like you were talking about Easter eggs kind of. And like
I think that would be awful.
And I think
if they actually went in that direction, they pulled in like the Scooby-Doo gang, I would turn that shit off.
If they did it well, I'd be on board. If they do it crap,
I think it would ruin it. I think
anything within the kind of Hanna-Barbera-esque universe or whatever that technically was would work as long as it did it.
Are we gonna bring in the Flintstones and the Jetsons next too? Like, I mean,
no,
Grape Ape.
We tried that. We tried that live action. Excuse me. Now I will say the history / mystery within the show is actually pretty well done.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of things that are super transparent right off the bat, but the rest of it is like, okay, we do actually have to unfold this, and I like that within this universe we've got werewolves, vampires, sirens, other mysterious thing.
Dude, the one girl playing the lead siren, the black chick, those contacts bug me the fuck out. They do not look good at all.
Well, I think that's on purpose. I think it's supposed to bug you out.
I don't even think I noticed anywhere. By the last episode I watched, like when I saw her, I was just like, yeah, okay, I get it. Like your eyes are weird. And
yeah, I think I like the things that are purposely bad to creep you out.
Yeah, I guess.
Whereas and like because I forgot the name of most of the guys. But like the one dude who's at the school who's like hitting on Wednesday, the kind of longish haired dude.
Yeah.
Like he's got cool powers, but it's almost never utilized. And I'm just like, I guess because they wanted to keep the CG budget down a little bit. So it's like, okay, you have the ability to draw anything and bring it to life. Yeah. Which is pretty freaking cool. But he only does it twice.
It's just an illusion though, right? Based on the way that Wednesday killed the spider and it just disappeared. I was just assuming he's just doing an illusion.
I think it comes to life to a degree, but it is only kind of made of the thing that it is. So it's like, he like charcoal drew that and then it turned basically to charcoal.
So it's just made out of charcoal.
So if he painted something, it would be like a living painted thing coming, and then whatever would kill paint, or maybe he has to turn it off. Like when
acetone
off. something, you know. But it's one of those things.
Polish remover, Ricky, you have that on hand.
Yes, I do. I got 90% acetone right here in front of me.
Yeah, or mineral spirits. There's some mineral spirits at it. But anyway, I do like what's her name? Gwendolyn Christie playing the principal.
Oh, Brianna Tarth.
Yeah,
she's bringing like another level of creepiness to that character. You don't know if she's like and she's all white too, right? Which is very
off-putting. Yeah.
Well, it's not off-putting. No, it's very
it's
old school-esque, right? Of white is good, black is bad,
like
and
the white hat and black hat.
She's the antithesis to the Addams family, basically.
Yeah, but she's got this weirdness to her where you're kind of like, what's up with this chick? Like, where's the twist with her? So
yeah, and they do a lot. But the funny part is, the last thing we technically saw her in was playing Lucifer in Sandman, which is look very similar. It's just like, okay, it's like same network, because both were on Netflix, all this. But anyway, I thought it was a good show, but basically the same kind of complaints we talked about with like Gomez and stuff like that. But like I didn't really have that many complaints, other than like it seems like they repeat a lot of the same tropes over and over. But given that it's supposed to be like a teenage dramedy, because it's actually classified as a comedy, although it's not really outwardly funny.
Dark comedy.
Yeah.
I don't know how you pull off a comedy with Wednesday as the main character. But anyway, speaking of things that are hot, by the way, I think White Wednesday is
the ghost
smoking.
Yeah.
So
that's an interesting, that whole backstory there.
He said smoking. I see what you did there.
That's cute. I caught it. Yeah. And then let's see here. Oh, I did watch the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special.
Same. Just watched it today yesterday with the kids.
Yeah. I thought
my wife made me watch it.
It's cute.
It's way better than the Star Wars special.
Well,
true.
What name something that is worse? Exactly.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the Eternals.
Nope.
Oh, that's
even
not
even that at least pushed it towards something.
Thor,
that was just,
Thor 4.
Nope. Still not as bad as the holiday special.
Okay, I guess there was no Life Day.
That holiday special there's nothing to save that shit.
Oh, so since we have a Transformers guy here, how do we feel about?
Since we have a Transformers guy.
Well, like he's an official Transformers reviewer, Ricky.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't review.
So
I just buy it.
So GoBots are now canon to the MCU.
In the MCU, I fucking love it.
Oh God, I didn't. So it was funny, right, to see them in there and Groot
beat the fuck out of him.
Drax. Sorry,
Drax.
Yeah, the crap out of that guy was awesome. But
he killed his cousin.
I was trying to, like, my brain was struggling with the fact. I was like, where the hell, or how the hell did Disney get the licensing for, like, where's the connection there? I didn't even know
Must
if
be
it was
Hasbro.
I guess, right? And then, but anyway, it was so. Yeah.
So
because
hold on, are they
because
using the Marvel to Hasbro connection to bring in GoBots into the Marvel universe? Then
I don't think it's going to go much deeper than this. I
but
think
is it?
but
it won't.
So, but would they follow through on it, or was it just like, I know?
Or did they pay money?
Yeah, GoBots killed my family, but they didn't, right? So that was the other thing that I was.
Well, he said his cousin.
He said robots. He said robots killed his family.
No.
He did not specify.
No, she said no. It was Mantis. Mantis said GoBots killed his cousin. Specifically his cousin.
I thought they said family, because my brain
I said cousin.
Went, like, my brain turned off because I was like, I thought Thanos killed his family.
Actually, it wasn't even. It wasn't.
Ronan.
It was Ronan on behalf of Thanos.
Right. Yeah.
Killed his wife and his daughter. So anyway, So no,
it was good. It was good. I liked it. I laughed.
It was enjoyable.
I liked once, like, because Kevin Bacon was like, everything they did with Kevin Bacon I thought was hilarious. I liked how they tried to carefully take down the cops, and then Drax like just throws that cop car upside down, and they're like trying to apologize to them, and as they're hanging upside down.
She gives him the candy cane.
Yeah, she's got the candy cane. It was just silly, but not for a 50-minute thing, like they're doing
it's like 45 minutes.
Yeah, so it falls. Go ahead.
Why the whole time I was watching the show, first of all, I did not enjoy Kevin Bacon in that at all. Like, his acting or whatever the hell was going on. I thought like if he was trying to be himself, it was like he was overacting himself for
Yeah.
one thing. But why wasn't David Hasselhoff
Because
the?
this was supposed to be his hero, not his dad.
But
David
I
Hasselhoff
thought,
was the one he said was his dad.
oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah.
all
So
right.
he always imagined David Hassel, his dad
David
being like
Hasselhoff was
David
dead.
Hasselhoff. Goddamn, David
Yep. Remember the
Hasselhoff.
words.
Yes, those are words there somewhere. So that's why Ego turned into David Hasselhoff to be like, look, I'm cool. I'm
Right.
the dad you wanted.
Yeah.
Because of course Peter's main references are all from the 80s, when he left Earth.
But he
And
does
so
talk about Footloose in one of the movies.
yes, so he talked about Footloose in the first movie. Oh, just like I'm a hero, just like Kevin Bacon, in the movie Footloose, and he saved the whole town with dancing. I did like how they tell Kevin Bacon that like because he worshipped you, he basically saved the universe with
Yeah, by
dancing,
dancing.
with a dance
Yeah.
off,
Yeah.
and at first, of course, and yeah, the funny part is you're right though about the whole thing with Kevin Bacon overacting. But remember what they said once they found out he was an actor. They're like, actors are
Yeah,
the
dude, like, he
worst.
sucks.
You
Somebody
suck.
hate
Oh
him.
god.
And
Dude, I was laughing
shot
so
with
hard.
the shot with Nebula, right? And like Nebula's head is full screen, and she's just
It's
like,
like he's shit.
actors are trash.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I thought that was great. But I also love that they basically made this while they're doing Guardians 3. So
Yeah.
it's like it stays canon. Also, I want to know how they got Bucky's arm.
More importantly,
Yes.
was I the only one who thought that Star-Lord was wearing a fucking wig the whole time? Go back and
No.
look. Go back and
Yeah,
look at his
like, I
hair.
didn't
It
know.
looked like a wig.
Yeah, I was like, what's with his hair? Why is it so big?
Yeah.
Well, because the funny part is like this seems to happen so far removed from when the Guardians were in Thor 4. Because also they don't have the Milano anymore. They've got the Bowie.
Yeah,
So
the Bowie.
like we've moved on from even what happened in Thor 4, wherever that is in the timeline at this point. So we don't even know, like, because everyone's outfits changed, everyone's haircuts changed. Well, whoever still has hair, because obviously we have multiple people without hair. We got Cosmo the space dog talking for the first time,
Yep.
Yeah.
effectively.
Which was a shout out to Up, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes and no.
Right.
It's like because like Up is sort of a shout out to Cosmo, and Cosmo is a shout out to Up. So
Sure. Yeah.
it's like it's all of the above.
Yeah.
And I like that this rolls into canon because apparently now that we know that not Nebula, Mantis and Quill are brother and sister technically
That I
by
did not like.
Ego. Well, I mean they are though because because remember
he created one, and the other one he inseminated somebody with. That's
So,
not the same thing as being a
that's
father.
technically true, but they've actually gone through the footage from Guardians 2. And there is in that whole mural thing that he has of like all the women he procreated with, you do see him with someone who is the same species as Mantis.
No
So
kidding.
in theory, he actually did make her happen, so created, quote unquote, we'll just say that's one way we put it with the bug person. So like she's part, well, that would also explain why her powers worked on him because she's
part
his
of him.
kid. So, she
So
just go ahead.
That's also interesting then that because in that movie with Ego, did Ego not say that every child that he tried to procreate didn't survive?
They either
he said
died.
something along those lines. Or
Well,
he
I think
killed him.
he killed them. So he had them gather all of them. So I would assume that what happened with Mantis is
they didn't survive the process that him and
Yes.
Quill were going through in the movie, right?
That
where he was
blue power
extracting the
transfer.
power. Yeah, they all died doing that. So Quill seemed to be the only one strong enough to
The only one
survive it.
strong enough, yeah.
And I'm gonna
So
guess
maybe Mantis survived because of whatever her innate abilities were amplified. So he didn't
or
kill
he
her?
just didn't, or he just saw a different use for her with the mental control abilities.
Maybe.
I assume that by that point he's like, oh, I could use somebody who could hypnotize people easily. Why not? It's like well, remember, because she knew he was a piece of shit, so she had been there during that. She just had to play along like the butler who knows that the dude is killing everyone. So, I mean, yeah, he basically did use her as a butler, essentially. Most of it. So, yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's cool that the implications of stuff we know and then stuff to come is actually pretty cool. And then since we got our Guardians 3 trailer, which we'll talk about here in a bit, it's nice to have this little kind of filler, and you know, being in the Christmas season. And by the way, they stole so much shit while they were on Earth. Like they filled that ship in that short amount of time.
That whole store, that Christmas store,
yeah,
town store,
they
or whatever.
they did that.
They just emptied that motherfucker out.
And then they stole not ornaments, but decorations from Kevin Bacon's house.
Yep.
Oh, and I love the idea that they could get cell phone reception from in the middle of literally nowhere.
But at least they explained it, right? They were,
Yeah.
you know.
We just point a satellite in that direction, and we get like 10 million light years out of it or something.
Because that was like the first that like it immediately shot out of my wife's mouth. She's like, "How is?" And then they immediately started explaining it, and I was like, "There you go."
Yeah,
same. I said the same thing to my wife. I'm like, "How the hell they got?" And then they started talking. I was like, "Well, there you go."
So good.
And actually, I like that the entire movie hinges on the fact that Kraglin was an idiot.
Did anybody else get vibes of heavy metal during the animation parts, like that the animation style that they used?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Like it reminded me a lot of the old heavy metal
cartoon.
cartoons.
Yeah.
Like that whole style that they use, I thought it reminded me a lot of that.
Yeah,
I actually went into a panic mode right at the beginning, right? Because it started off with
because it's animated. You didn't realize.
Am I watching a cartoon for the next 45 minutes?
Dude, I did the same thing. I paused and I'm like, wait a minute, and then I backed up and I'm like, okay, so it's got. Well, then I realized it's like, of course, they're not going to put Michael Rooker in his full on makeup again. That makes sense. So the part where they don't need to have Yondu on screen legitimately, we'll just animate that, which is actually cool. Yeah. Like I like the idea of doing like an 80s animation for shit that happened in the 80s with characters that aren't around anymore. But also, I loved like when they showed that Peter, you know, after Peter set up the whole Christmas thing as a kid, and you know, Yondu trashes everything, and so he goes through the presents later in the trash can, and he saw this stuff. There was one for Taserface.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's cool. I was like, even this little kid, even though Taserface is clearly a piece of shit, you know, I was like, he's still wanting to, you know, do something nice for somebody, you know,
involve them in it.
And actually tying back to Guardians 1, why Yondu has trinkets on his dashboard is all down to that.
Yeah.
I was like, that's cool. I was like, this is how you write this shit in canon. It doesn't break anything. And it just keeps things moving forward while acknowledging everything in the past we, you know, already know about. So it was a lot of fun, you know.
Yeah, I'll say it was enjoyable. It's worth a one-time watch.
Yeah.
I wouldn't rewatch it.
Now, if they give us other Christmas specials in the future from some other set of characters that they can pull that off with, I'd be on board. You know,
they're batting 500. They're batting 500 right now. With Christmas specials, they need to leave that shit alone, man.
That's true.
If they throw up like the only other character I could see that could pull off a Christmas special would be Thor, and if they did that, I'm done.
No.
I'd be so done with Thor.
I mean, well, technically, Hawkeye was a Christmas special.
No, it was just set during Christmas time. Calm down, Die Hard.
You are one of those people that say that Die Hard's a Christmas movie, don't you?
Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
No, it's not. It just happens at Christmas time. That does not make it a Christmas movie.
Almost every Die Hard movie is a Christmas movie.
They just happen. No, only the first two happen.
No, it is a Christmas movie.
You're full of shit.
Now, Home Alone is not.
Oh my God.
Home Alone is an action adventure movie.
Wow,
okay.
Set at Christmas.
And Die Hard is a Christmas family special. Get the fuck out of here.
That's why I'm making the joke. It's like, well, technically speaking, Home Alone is an action adventure movie set at Christmas, just like Die Hard. But it is not a Christmas movie in the same way. I mean, it's not Christmas Vacation. And please, whoever in Hollywood, please do not do an updated National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. We do not need
So far they've steered clear of doing any National Lampoon remakes, which I'm okay with.
Well, did you see the last one?
No.
The one with what's his face from The Office and Christina Applegate?
The family trip or whatever, the road trip.
Yeah. So it was in canon. So he was Russ. So he was as an adult with his family doing the same damn thing, trying to go to Wally World, and they even stopped.
Yeah, yes.
It was funny but bad.
I heard about it and I just avoided it altogether.
Yeah,
I don't
Ed Helms
and Ed Helms, thank you. Yeah, and Chevy Chase was in it as well. You know, taken back over as Oh, Clark. Wow. I remember Griswold.
Dude, you're the worst when it comes to
I remember.
No one brought it up. You don't remember any of it.
No, I remembered Griswold. Couldn't think of the name, and then I was trying to think of she's a Butte Clark. That's where I was trying to get to. So yeah. So I mean, hopefully they just don't. I'll just leave it at that. Hopefully they just don't. And then only other thing that of note from the past week, other than the fact I got a whole bunch of crap in that I'll be dropping a video for tomorrow over on the main Shoky channel. We watched the movie Underwater Friday night. That was with Kristen Stewart and TJ Miller and a few other people. Interesting kind of underwater horror movie. And I use the word horror in it's more like a suspenseful type thing. Yeah. But if you have any issues with claustrophobia and or underwater stuff, don't watch it. Because it will fuck you up.
Doing like a lot of like tight close-in shots inside the suits or something.
Yes, they do that, but you're also the movie starts like immediately. There's only like a 5-minute buildup to the plot happening. And basically they're 7 miles down deep in the Mariana Trench in a drilling platform that's trying to go deeper, obviously. And all of a sudden, the base just has massive structural collapse. And the cast gets really small really fast.
So it's Sphere.
No, because Sphere takes place above water at the beginning. And then on a cool spaceship later. So, but no, this one, everything is underwater, like literally bottom of the ocean underwater, tight quarters, in and out of deep water where you can't see anything except for the dust and crap and then whatever monsters are trying to kill you at the moment. So, like, I mean, it was decent. It was a decent movie. I wouldn't say it was good, but it also, the funny thing is they left it open for kind of a sequel if they wanted to, or just left it open-ended to where like, okay, what the hell's happening in this universe, So it's pretty cool. Interesting mythological lore implications, So I don't know. It was worth a watch.
Did they call the Avengers?
No, they don't. It was definitely an Avengers level threat. I will say that. However, it would have been interesting if they had leaned into. They could have leaned this into the Cloverfield universe if they wanted to. Gross. Like they could have gone that direction, and it would have been interesting. But I think after the Cloverfield Paradox movie, I think they were just like, no, we're not going there. So, but anyway, that's going to be it for me. Sorry that took a little bit, but hey, we had to get through some of the cool stuff.
We had conversation while it was happening.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it covered all the shows that came out in the last 2 weeks that most people watch. Yeah. So we're good there. Ricky, as you cough.
Sorry. I'm still fighting this little cold thing.
Yes.
What else? Let's see.
You were sick.
So we went up north. We went to Chan and JD's wedding last weekend.
Oops, don't do that.
And we saw everybody up there, and I picked up some stuff. I got in my what's it called, dude?
Serpentor?
Well, I got Serpentor in, I got Mindbender in.
Unicron?
Yes, HasLab Unicron. I'm brain farting over here. I picked up my HasLab Unicron while I was up there.
That's where you got it. Okay, you grabbed it from up there. Okay, I thought you had it shipped to you. And
no. I had to leave the box behind, dude. The box wouldn't even fit in the rental, man. I literally took everything out of the box and just kind of stacked it in the back on top of all our suitcases and stuff, because that box took up I'd say 90% of the trunk by itself.
Nice. So it was in the vehicle when we were on the Zoom call?
Yeah. If you'd been paying attention, you'd have seen it sticking up over my shoulder. Like you could see it straight back over my shoulder.
Cool.
Yeah. So brought that home, reworking a new process to chrome out these Crimson Twins for my G.I. Joe classifieds. I'm adding chrome now instead of the metallic paints. Played video games with the kids. We've been on a Mario 64 kick. Grinding the crap out of that, collecting stars. I think we're up over like 50 now.
Are you playing the legit, or are you playing it on the Switch?
I have the legit, but we're playing it on the Switch.
Cool. I started doing that too, and I realized how much different playing that with Switch controls versus the 64 controls is.
It's still garbage, dude. The controls are so like, I'll just walk somewhere and like go to take like one step, and for some reason my guy will just jump halfway across the screen into a hole. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? I didn't touch anything but the joystick a little bit. They're still wonky. They're very floaty.
Yeah.
I don't know how we did
Star Fox 64 is also really weird on the Switch. It's really weird to play it that way because going from one joystick to two in a game that was only meant to have the one is a little weird.
So, but I mean, it's fun. We're having fun doing it. Like we just unlocked all the metal cap and vanishing cap and all that stuff right before we started.
Nice
recording. So we were doing that. Other than that, man, just working, trying to fight off this head cold.
That's a trailer that I don't have in our notes that I forgot about.
Can't remember
the Mario trailer.
Well, that's old news though, dude. That was at the beginning of Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, but we haven't. Well, yeah, but the newest trailer dropped.
Oh, I haven't watched the newest one. It was the same one.
I have not seen that.
I will drop it in the chat real quick because it just dropped the other day. The expanded trailer, not the teaser. So I'll drop there so everybody can watch it. Continue.
And I watched the A Christmas Story Christmas.
Oh yeah, tell me about that.
The sequel. I actually enjoyed it. Had one friend who hated it, you know, but whatever. But I enjoyed it. I thought they did a great job continuing the story, and it kind of, without doing too many spoilers, it loops back around to the first movie by the end of it. So he
goes back in time to not shoot his eye out?
No. So you know how the beginning of the original starts with the narration of him telling the story about his best Christmas and da 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 da. Well, that's how this one ends, is him writing that story that was being narrated at the beginning of the first movie.
Oh, so it's literally a Christmas story happening.
Yeah.
Oh,
so it's him. It's the same actors. They brought back Flick. They brought back all of them, like all the actors that were them as kids. If they're alive, they're in this movie. They even brought back like the mean bully that he got into the fight with, saying all the crazy cuss words at. He's back in this as an adult now. Like they brought back everybody into this movie. It's set in like the 70s, I think, because it's supposed to be like 30 years after the first one.
Oh yeah, because that wasn't, even though we watched that in the 80s, it wasn't taking place in the 80s.
No, it was like in the 40s or 50s.
Does the lamp make a return?
A cameo. So does the rabbit suit. Like there's a lot of see, that was one of the things that my friend was complaining about. He's like, it's so much of the same stuff. And I'm like, but and he stopped watching halfway through it. I was like, you have to watch it to the end because it's supposed to be the same stuff. There's a reason why it's so much of the same stuff. And it makes sense at the very end. Like literally the right when the credits went to roll, it all just kind of locked in 100%. And I was like, there it is. I'm trying not to spoil it because it's worth going to watch. Yeah. It was enjoyable. I'm gonna watch it with the kids now because I wanted to screen it first and make sure it was gonna be okay because I didn't know what they would do updating a movie like that.
Did you rewatch the original beforehand?
I have not watched it since last year. We watch it every year.
Okay. So, I haven't seen it in like 10 years probably, so I probably need the refresher.
Yeah, it's but you can watch it after. The way this ends with that looper back around, you could watch this and then watch that and it still makes perfect sense.
Huh.
That's what I'm saying. It kind of it worked out perfectly. It was really good. I enjoyed it. I would definitely recommend watching it. If they ever make a physical copy of it, I would probably buy it to add to the Christmas movie collections that we have. But yeah,
if they do a steel case.
No, I wouldn't go that fancy. We buy it's one of our traditions is every year for Christmas Eve. The boys get a Christmas Eve box, which they can open, and it has like a new set of pajamas, an ornament for their nerd tree. Each one of them gets a new ornament, and then a Christmas movie. And then they put their ornament on their tree, and then we sit down in the living room. They put their new pajamas on. We get in the living room. We all bundle up, hot cocoa and all that crap, and watch whatever movie we bought them. Last year we didn't have to buy them when we did the 8-bit Christmas. We used that as the Christmas movie. I don't know if you watched that last year, the one with Neil Patrick Harris where he talks about the year he tried to get a Nintendo for Christmas.
No, I didn't. I remember it. Dude, when you said it,
HBO Max too.
When you said it, I was like, I wanted to watch that, but I never did. And I heard people talking about it.
That movie had me in my feels, man. That movie made me cry. Like this one tried to make me cry. That one did make me cry. Like it got me in my feels. But that was one we did last year, so we didn't have to buy one. And then again, we're gonna do this one this year. I'm like, crap, well, we're just not buying them their movies anymore. They have like a whole setup of you can see it's weirdly you can see their progression in their age just by looking at the Christmas movies as we bought them, because they start out with the old Rankin and Bass and just slowly move forward into like real like modern Christmas stuff. Like it's pretty cool to look at that on my shelf. At least that's how my brain works.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that's the plan. And I think I started watching Vox Machina. Somebody finally told me. I kept forgetting to watch it, and somebody kept going on and on about it. I was like, man, I gotta remember to watch that. I literally just watched the first episode this morning.
I mean, we talked about it a lot at the beginning of this show because like Sean was a big proponent of it.
No, I don't care about Sean nor his opinions. Sean knows he's on my dupe list until he can take 2 hours out of his fucking life and come on here and talk.
I mean, he was in the Zoom call with us. You could have talked to him right then.
No, I talked shit to him and he sure didn't say nothing.
Yeah, he only said the one thing because he was working. Sean is always working.
He's always working. Well, if he could be on a Zoom call, he could be on one of these things while he's working. So I'm giving him shit. I still like Sean kind of. But yeah, I started watching that. It's pretty good. I enjoyed the first episode, so I'll definitely stick around for more of it. We'll just call that a day because I don't remember. My brain's kind of fuzzy and I'm just going to remember bits and pieces. Maybe Rusty will shake something loose when he's talking about his week or life, since it's his first time on the show.
Oh man, we're not doing my whole life.
Yeah, that was
just give us the highlights.
Just the highlight.
He was born. He was born in Canada.
No, what is that? What was that? Was it The Jerk? He's like, I was born a poor black man, and he's doing Steve Martin.
Oh my god, I haven't seen that movie in so long.
Oh my god, that movie killed me.
Yeah. So fun fact: my wife and I have never actually seen The Christmas Story. We just realized that last week.
Really?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, we were like, oh yeah, that movie with the kid with the BB gun. Yeah, we've never actually watched that movie.
If you have HBO Max, now's the time to do it because they have both of them on there, I think.
Yeah, no,
yeah, definitely.
I think we were planning on doing it today sometime, but now I'm doing this. So,
well,
hey, look, man,
you definitely got screwed on that because the movie's better.
we do appreciate you being able to come in here on such short notice.
Sean, somebody not even part of the show dropped what he was doing to come be on the show. Fucking take the notes, you asshole.
Yes, but this person also has decent equipment, whereas Sean just has his phone.
Quit giving that man excuses, dude.
Dude, I had to do 4-ish episodes listening to his terrible audio.
I don't care. I'd rather listen to his terrible audio so you can get out here and make excuses. I want to shoot shit with Sean.
You could just...
But anyways, back to Rusty.
Back to Rusty, yes. We're talking about Canadians here.
Talking about Canadians. So things in Canada are wintry and snowy, and I didn't like the fact that I saw Rikki sitting on his patio outside, and I'm already stuck inside with a hoodie on, so...
Shorts, flip-flops. Shorts, flip-flops sitting right by my pool, man.
Dude, it's 63 degrees and overcast here today.
It's probably
man, I have to do math. 63 degrees. Oh man, you guys are like in the 20s. Damn.
Yeah.
No, it's been hovering around 32 degrees for he's turned his camera on just so he can show me his fucking
Ricky's in a tank top, flip-flops, and shorts. He doesn't even have a hoodie on.
A t-shirt with cut-off sleeves.
That becomes a tank top at that point.
Yeah, we're hovering around 32 degrees now for the past 3 weeks.
That's Fahrenheit or Celsius?
That's Fahrenheit.
No, that's Fahrenheit.
Okay.
Yeah, 32 Celsius is warm.
I'm calculating for you guys.
Thank you. We appreciate that here in American land.
Use Americans.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The
so
last
so for the whole summer, I'll just go back to my summer and for anybody who actually watches my channel and knows I disappeared this summer from my channel because my work, I was doing 15-hour days minimum since May. And I still haven't really figured out why. I keep talking to my management about why is all this work coming into us and where's the people and whatever. So I don't know what's going on, but I have been working my ass off all summer. And so oddly enough, I was talking to Shoky today because you pinged me and you were like, hey man, can you jump in and do this podcast with us. So I've given up making excuses for myself, and I was actually working on a review today of an old school figure, Transform and Rollout Agent Meister from 2018. Since we know Jive is coming out from Fans Toys next week, I believe.
And that's
I thought this would be a good time to be
for the layman's.
Yes, that's Jazz. Sorry, that's the one-off Jazz from this one.
Are you sure it's not Mirage?
The one that looks like Mirage. God damn it!
Yep.
I was gonna say the one that looks like Mirage.
I knew I'd beat Ricky to that joke.
Well, that's because I muted my microphone so y'all weren't picking up noises. God damn it!
We're gonna talk about that later, and you're gonna hear me go off because I'm fucking angry about that. But anyway,
me too. Hashtag not my Mirage. I'm with you on it, brother.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, my entire summer has been a disaster. And some of you guys may know I'm into motorsports. I go and I have a couple of cars I actually go out and race at a local racetrack. So with the temperature dropping down to 32, I've spent the last 2 weeks putting the cars away in the garage, prepping them and all that stuff so that they don't break down over the off season. And trying to figure out what I'm going to do with the rest of my winter since I can't go out and race the cars anymore. So various shows that so this is how bad my summer has been, right? So you guys were talking about like Rings of Power on a couple of podcasts ago, and I had to like turn it off because I have not watched Rings of Power yet. I'm into like episode 2 of Rings of Power. I just managed to finish House of the Dragon a week ago. I still haven't watched season 11 of The Walking Dead. That's still like sitting in my list.
I'm back on season 6 still.
Yeah, I'm like 5 or 6.
We just gave up
on that show a long time ago.
Yeah,
you know what? I think I gave up at like season 9, but then I was like, I can't. I've mentioned this before on my own channel. I'm a completionist. I can't not watch the end of a show. Although I will tell you, the one show I finally gave up on was Westworld. Holy fuck, that show is confusing. I cannot get past that show.
I need to watch the new season. Just came out. I haven't watched it yet.
I refused. I got halfway through season 3 and I was like, this is the dumbest fucking writing I've ever sat my ass through. I'm not watching this anymore, and I just turned it off. And I didn't even make it through season 3, and I'm not watching season 4, and they canceled it. So I guess I was right.
They finally canceled it.
Yeah. So Handmaid's Tale. My wife and I just finished watching a couple weeks ago. You guys watching that at all?
We're behind. We started the new season, and I think we got 4 episodes in, and then we just haven't caught up.
Yeah, it's just continuing on with just such amazing, right? The thing that gets me with that show is the writing is fantastic, and the cinematography of it is just like
it's so well shot.
You feel June's intensity and anger. Every emotion that she feels is so well captured in that show, and justifiably so. And it's just, we just love that show to death. So that's what we've been doing.
I'll say one thing about that show. And this is a personal criticism. I am a little sick of extreme close-ups of Elizabeth Moss's face. It's like it seems like most episodes end with her with an intense or crazy look. Yeah, I'm just like, and I get the show's about her, but like, I'm a little over it.
But I think that's the point of making that, right? Is that the cinematography does that on purpose to capture that intensity.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And yes, agreed that it is like her face is absolutely 100% full screen. Can we get any closer? No, because her nose will be touching the lens.
Yeah,
right?
Literally. Yeah.
But it's definitely done on purpose to gather that intensity, right?
Yeah,
of her emotion.
They're trying to. What I love. She's actually really good at communicating and expressing with no words, and like I guess it's probably from this show, because they're literally like, okay, it's just you and a close-up of your face, here's what you're feeling.
We just need you to look into the camera through your eyebrows. Can you do that for us? Yes, I can absolutely do that. Okay, great. And then,
her and Peter Capaldi very good with expressing with their eyebrows. Attack eyebrows,
another
as they put it.
Show that my wife and I started watching, and we let it drop a bit, and with Elizabeth Moss, and it's her reality keeps shifting around her in very subtle ways. Oh man, I'll have to look it up
And it was a show?
Yeah, it's a show. I think it might actually be on Netflix, but it seems like a very interesting show as well. I'll have to look at the name. It was like
I will Google.
It was like Sunday Girls or something like that. But anyway, seems like a very interesting show. And then we keep getting sucked into documentaries. We do like watching the occasional documentary, but I will tell you that I don't know why there's this sudden
Shining
shift in
Girls.
documentaries. What's that?
Shining Girls?
Shining Girls, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. Seems like a decent show. But anyway, we like watching documentaries from time to time. And but the thing I'm not liking lately is the streaming platforms have shifted away from like a 2 or 3 hour documentary to an entire series. And some of these series, they just don't have enough material to talk about an item for 8 plus episodes.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Like,
yeah.
Like there's a FIFA Uncovered one that just came out that I want to watch, and I was like, and it basically talks about how the 2022 FIFA was awarded to Qatar, and they think that there's a bunch of corruption, and basically Qatar just bought it. And I was kind of intrigued about, how
Oh, you
much
mean
work is
to
actually
host?
happening. Yeah, to host. Sorry.
Yeah.
And
I got you.
And I was like, I'd be interested to know what the backstory is behind that, because it does seem like Qatar should never have won this. And then I found out it was like a 10 episode series, and I'm like, no.
I mean, is it like 10
No.
10-minute episodes? Like, geez.
Well, I don't know, but I mean, I can't believe that you'd have enough material to talk about. Even let's say they're even 30-minute episodes. I can't believe
it's going to be 4 episodes of the history of it, and then it'll be like an episode of what actually happened, and then it'll be 4 episodes of the outcome of that thing happening. Like you're only going to get like 1 episode that have to do with it directly, and then everything else is going to be peripheral. That's what it seems like what happens with these docuseries.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I hope you're not getting any background noise. My wife just decided to vacuum.
That's cool.
I can only.
He can clean it up and post.
No, actually, I can't. But like,
No,
I can only
vacuum.
barely. Like, I wouldn't even, if you hadn't said anything, I wouldn't even realized.
Okay, everyone disregard my last statement.
It's not happening.
I'm not editing it up.
You're in the matrix.
The internet never forgets.
The internet is forever, unfortunately. And then
everybody just drop out.
And then he just muted. I assume because the vacuuming was getting loud. Irony.
I was like, holy crap.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, it's fine because we're getting Ricky's dogs barking in the background. So I mean, even if
you're not. My dogs aren't barking.
Yes.
They were.
No, they aren't.
Whose
My
dogs
dogs are asleep in the bed.
Oh,
no.
Maybe the barking was on Rusty's end then.
Oh, maybe it was on my side then.
Because I don't have dogs, so I don't know where the barking was coming from.
Okay, I thought it was coming from Ricky too.
That's funny. We all thought it was Ricky's dogs.
It might be my kids yelling there and they're playing the game.
No, I mean, it was a while ago. It was a while ago.
Oh, a while ago might have been them.
It was it was back when you were talking about what you were doing for the week, and
yeah, that was your dogs.
Actually, it was right at the beginning. It was right when you started talking.
Yeah,
it's probably them then, because they went to lay down because Kara told me she was going to lay down.
I'm like, am I going nuts? I can't hear my own dogs anymore. I mean,
no. The weird part is whenever like either Ricky or Rob or whoever will be doing something, moving things around, manipulating it, the way it sounds in my headphones, like something happened in my room. And considering stuff tends to fall off the shelf in here, I'm looking around like, what just fell? What's going on? And it was just on their end, but I have no idea because of the peripheral
I have a little
sounds.
garbage can back here that I'll open up to throw stuff away in. And he'll hear that, and like I've seen him go, "What the hell was that?" Like he'll flip around looking like at his toys and stuff to see if anything's falling off a shelf. It's funny as fuck.
Well, luckily, nothing has, knock on wood, nothing has fallen over in a while.
Don't knock on that wood too fucking hard; you'll knock them all over.
Yeah, I will say. Speaking of looking at my shelves, there's something that I was reminded of that I took care of last week, but I didn't get a chance to talk about it. And by the way, we didn't even talk about Thanksgiving, but it's fine. We all had Thanksgiving essentially, except for the Canadians probably.
Yeah, but we had that a few months ago.
Yes, you have your own Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we didn't do Thanksgiving because the boys
y'all were road
with
tripping.
My ex. No, the boys were with my ex this year. We didn't get them till that evening, and then we immediately left for driving to Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Canadians only know when American Thanksgiving is now because of Black Friday.
Exactly. Black Friday is...
You're welcome, Canada.
Yeah, Black Friday is non-cultural, whereas our Thanksgiving is. So you guys can just benefit from our ridiculous shopping holidays.
All the benefits and none of the stupid shit.
Thanks, America.
At least buy a turkey for Black Friday.
Y'all heard it here. Canada finally thanked us. Team America.
Yeah, but it's in a different province, so it doesn't count.
Hashtag sarcasm.
Yeah. So anyway, what I was saying is because my Power Ranger / Street Fighter figure reviews went up last week, and in those reviews I talk about how stupid the stands are for the effect parts, like say it's either the Hadouken or Chun-Li's kicking effect. So I actually modified them, but I hadn't been able to talk about it. I actually shaved about like 3/4 of an inch off of the stand to make it the proper height. And like I was gonna do a video on it, and I just said screw it. While I was editing the last podcast, actually, I was modifying these things. I cut off the weird little kinked bottom of it, and then like shaved a little bit more, drilled it out, and like cut off some thumbtack, like the pointy part of a thumbtack to just sort of insert and glue, and like it's so much better. Like because they were like to put him in a pose like Ryu's Hadouken, you got to have him kind of leaning forward on his forward knee, basically, and shooting. But if you leave it at the right height,
in the game,
yeah, exactly. Well, I know, but what I'm saying is for it to be at the right height, it won't do it with that stand. It's too high.
Oh, you had to have him like stand straight
up.
Yeah.
So, and then with Chun-Li, her leg was like almost like straight out instead of in front of her. So like, it actually works out so much better. And like they stand like really well compared to regular Power Rangers figures that fall over all the goddamn time on my shelves. So, but
it's falling time.
Anytime I hear you guys talk about anybody, by the way, talk about modifying their figures, man, my skin crawls. Just
yeah.
I'm over here painting them while we're talking.
I know, and listen, so that's the one thing I will give to any customizer is a good paint job on a nice figure. Man, like you guys, like kudos, right? But I hear people talk about stuff like, yeah, I put crazy glue on this, or I shaved this off, or I just go, oh God, okay.
I mean, I've made a full-on custom Dragon Ball figure from like 2 other figures, and like Rikki, painting his stuff right now.
Here you go. You look. So that's the gray plastic that it came with.
Yeah,
there it is, chromed out on the other one.
Nice. See, again, that's good, right? But man, it freaks me out when people talk about like shaving stuff off.
But yeah, you're just painting. Oh, so speaking of that, and this is a little known fact if you didn't watch my review on it. So the Zeta Superion, I forget if it was Slingshot or the other
metallic one or the basic one.
Well, the metallic one,
Masterpiece or Legend.
Masterpiece. So because I don't have the Legends one, so maybe it's not whoever the red one is, whatever the red jet is. I forgot his name, but is it Fireflight? Could be Fireflight.
Yes.
Yeah. So mine came with a major defect, and it was the 2 side panels that usually hold the ribs area of the robot together, and you kind of shift that around to put it into arm mode. Mine, instead of being the mirrored pieces, they were the same piece. And because it has a thing where a tab has to go into to secure the whole body together, I actually had to cut that apart and glue it where it should go so that it would function properly, rather than like trying to hit up TF Source or somewhere just to get a stupid piece replaced.
I would never. No, that's too much.
It was actually easy. Like, I mean, it was kind of a pain to make sure it was clean, but I mean, it functions at 100% now. So it's like all I needed to do was move the receptacle, so to speak, for the tab to go into from one side to the other. Other than that, the piece itself is specifically mirrored. So that was the only thing I had to change. It's not like having to repair my Devastator that had a couple of weird issues when I got it. The Toy World Devi. So, it's like, I mean, I was already, a Gundam builder, so I'm used to modifying shit, Customizing toys isn't that crazy, I mean, Rikki's seen my modified Nerf gun.
My modified Nerf gun that you still haven't sent to me, you piece of shit.
Well, when you send me several $100s for it, I'll send it to you.
It's Christmas time, you piece of shit. I ain't buying my own Christmas gift.
Yeah, about that gift.
You can put it in a Gundam box and send it to me.
Yeah, I got some other stuff to send you, actually. So, either way,
I don't need bags of dicks.
Well, need versus want. See, why do the Canadians do that? All of the Canadians who come on the show have to actually throw the name of the show in like that. It's funny.
It's a thing.
Mike did the same thing. It's actually kind of funny. But either way, no. I forgot where I was going with that, but it doesn't matter. So what else have you been watching and or getting, Rusty?
That is it.
Okay.
That is everything.
So
Call of Duty. I jump into Call of Duty every now and again. I have not bought the new Modern Warfare, but I do Call of Duty from time to time.
nice.
Yeah.
I will say that if my work schedule holds up for the rest of December, which would be great, I will probably be able to fulfill my my want of getting a PlayStation and God of War. So we'll see how good my Christmas is going to get.
I've heard great things about that God of War game,
dude. Well, one, I loved. I'm actually going back and rewatching.
Don't say nothing because I know you watch all those fucking spoiler videos. I don't want to hear nothing about nothing.
I was gonna talk. I was just gonna say I'm rewatching the previous one.
The timeline for it.
Yeah, so the previous one, just for the heck of it, because I forgot a lot of things about that game, so I'm rewatching the playthroughs on that because I already watched the whole playthrough of Ragnarok.
Right.
But the thing is about it is that, like, because not every YouTuber or whoever Twitch player gets everything done during their playthrough, so there's like a lot of secrets, a lot of upgrades, there's a lot of things. And with this game being so malleable, like you can choose basically how you which armors you want, which abilities you want to upgrade and stuff like that, so everyone's playthrough.
It's like a light RPG too,
in a way, but it's just like, because you have the ability to, like, say you want to focus on strength, so you put all your armor and abilities towards being stronger and hitting harder, but that will lower your defense and it'll change your runic attacks and all that kind of stuff like that. But not only are you adapting yourself, you adapt your whatever your co-character is, so you can change their abilities to fill in your gaps or amplify yours. But since everybody plays differently, it's, even if I know the story, when I go to play it, I'm going to customize my gameplay to the way I would play it. So I'll have a different experience to the next guy, so that's a little bit different versus like Halo, where you don't have that much to tweak. You just pick whatever weapons you're going to focus on, if you're not doing like a multiplayer thing where you're changing your loadout and customizing your character and stuff like that. But, like, I haven't gone back to play Infinite in a while.
Yeah.
And I feel like I should have, because they've at least done the things. Also, I'm behind on my Mario Kart, so I'm sure they've released the latest DLC, and I haven't gone to get it. So I feel bad about that. In the Cowabunga collection, I need to see if there's any updates to that or not, because I feel like I played through that really quickly, unfortunately. Maybe I need to get Shredder's Revenge and see if I'll enjoy that.
I did that. We got the Cowabunga collection. That's fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we need to do a co-op playthrough then. Wait, what did you get it on?
It's on the Switch.
Okay, you got it on the Switch. I got it on the Xbox. Shit.
Yeah, no, I got it.
Wait, did I get it on the Switch? Now I need to check, because I might have got it on the Switch.
You have too many platforms if you can't keep track of where you can.
Well, because
I have all the platforms, man.
Well, because it was available on every platform, I had to decide which one I wanted to get it on. Yeah. And now but because it's been a few weeks since I played it, I don't remember which one I put it on. Same kind of problem. It's not an exclusive, which makes it,
So Rusty's never heard us talk about gaming stuff in here. Yeah, on my big TV in the living room, Rusty, I have an NES, an SNES, a 64, a Switch, a PlayStation 4, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and I think something else out there. And then in the bedrooms, we all have PS4s that we use for streaming and stuff. And then I have a Wii around here somewhere, and
around here
somewhere. Yeah, because I don't have those hooked up anymore. So it's probably in the garage or something.
I mean,
I have a PS3. I mean, we got all kinds of shit around.
I mean, I have my older 360s over here for my Halo collection, but I don't have them all hooked up and running.
We got one hooked up because of was it not Dune? What is that? Fable. Kara loves Fable.
Yeah, they haven't done an updated version from Fable. They haven't done a sequel in a long time, if they did one at all.
Nope. And every time I only upgrade my Xbox when they upgrade the Master Chief Collection to keep it moving forward. Because the only thing I use my Xbox for is Halo and Gears of War.
Nice.
Everything else is PlayStation.
I'm gonna check my Amazon routing real quick, because I did place an order Friday for something that has not. Or maybe it shipped. Oh, it did ship. Okay. I was wondering why it was going to take so long. So just a little bit of teasers. I'm continuing my IDW collection.
The comics.
Yeah. So I'm starting into phase 2 because I really want to get to the stuff with the DJD and the Lost Light. So like that's where all that starts happening. So where Hot Rod where all that starts happening. So that's where I was like, something I didn't talk about it. I just teased it. But since we're so far in here, I know nobody's listening anymore. I did get, and you guys saw this in our main chat. I got the Go-Go Power Rangers Volume 1 collection, and holy shit, I didn't realize how much of a compendium that is for the Go-Go Power Rangers comics. That's literally everything through Shattered Grid and into the next chunk of it. And it is a huge, like, for because I'm used to some of the smaller hardcovers and stuff like this. I was like, and it is a thick book. And I love that it looks like an Angel Grove High yearbook.
Oh, they made it up to like that's.
They made it.
Cool. I like when they do little shit like that. And like that Batman '89 hardback that I got.
Yeah.
When you take the sleeve off of it, it's an old VHS tape.
I was going to ask it to VHS tape.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, that is really. It's like I liked it, and like because it may tell you how many pages it is in the description, but you don't know until you get it, like what that really means. And it fits in with the other, as far as I know, it fits in with the other Power Rangers hardcover comics. So, and I didn't realize how much I had missed from that story until I started reading through it. I'm like, okay, I actually never read these chapters. So I'm reading the current Power Rangers comics, and then the there's another. By the way, I found out the other day there's another TMNT Power Rangers comic crossover happening again. So Jesus. Like in the comics, they're crossing over again, which will be pretty cool. And we got a teaser for Ranger X in that comic, which is pretty cool. And when you see the character, you can tell exactly who it's going to be.
I thought you said it was a TMNT crossover.
It is, but remember,
wouldn't Ranger X be Speed Racer?
You would think so. Actually, like, kind of a similar color scheme. I don't know why.
I'm old. I like to show my age every once in a while.
Yeah, old bastard. So, I don't know how and where the crossover is going to happen. It's just been teased so far, so I'm looking forward to that coming out down the line, because I enjoyed the original TMNT Rangers crossover. I thought it was really cool. But now that we have the White Ranger and stuff like that, and we're probably going to cross over with some other Ranger teams, who knows? But spoilers. 3, 2, 1. Ranger X looks like it's going to be Casey Jones.
No, you ruined it.
Yes. So
interesting.
So
okay.
it'll be cool to actually get more human crossover, because April O'Neil took over temporarily as the Pink Ranger in that crossover. So and then the Turtles were the other Rangers. So we'll see how that goes in this future. So I'm looking forward to that. I enjoy what the comics do because they're rewriting Power Rangers history, but keeping it in the same vein. So it's actually pretty neat. And they've been talking a lot because, for those who knew Power Rangers originally, the first 3 seasons were essentially the Mighty Morphin Saga, and then everything's really started changing up after that. And they're in that vein right now where the Thunder powers are sort of going to roll out pretty soon.
Zeo and all that shit.
Yeah, so they're teasing Zeo a lot more. And the Rangers themselves are even like discussing, we can't be Rangers forever, but what does that mean? So
I mean, like, I have to say this: it's a good thing on you. Like, it's good that you're disseminating the information because you're good with Power Rangers. But I have learned more about Power Rangers talking to you on this than I probably knew before this. And I'm kind of mad at you all at the same time as I'm like good on you for teaching people that shit.
You're mad at me for giving you this information?
Yeah, that I didn't fucking need in my life.
Well,
doesn't count. Post the first movie, it doesn't count. Once they went ninja, I was kind of out at that point.
Shit, the movie didn't even count because it wasn't. The movie wasn't canon.
CGI is amazing.
That movie wasn't canon, unfortunately.
How's that? I thought the Ninja Squad built out of that movie.
No, the movie. Well, while that happened in the movie itself is not canon to the series because they completely redid that. The Turbo movie is canon, but
there's a Turbo movie. Jesus Christ!
Yeah, there were 2 Power Rangers movies. It was just Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie, and then there was Turbo, a Power Rangers movie. So they did it before Star Wars was cool.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. So, so Turbo, a Star Wars movie, or Solo. I don't know. Either way. Yeah. Speaking of movies, should we just roll into our discussion on these trailers that have been dropping like crazy? Speaking of which,
a segue, y'all.
That was a segue. Rusty, did you get a chance to watch the?
Oh, I haven't watched the Mario one either.
Yeah, pause everyone pause and go watch the Mario thing.
No, I already watched the Mario one. So
okay, he's gonna let him watch real quick. Yeah, we'll pause for 2 minutes. Yep. All right, so now that everyone is caught up on the Super Mario Brothers movie trailer, you can geek out now, Ricky.
Yes, like did you hear their reaction? Like their faces when they saw the Mario Kart part was just like mine. I was like, oh yeah, like they were excited about it. Like, yeah, this looks like I'm gonna like it a lot.
Yeah, a lot. I'm 100% on board. I mean, I was already on board with just the teaser trailer that we got before. But dude, like the sheer amount of references to the old games, even Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dude,
I love the obstacle course where he's all excited because he made it.
The Donkey Kong scene and the Mario Kart scene are the two that stuck me in, because I will tell you, when I saw the trailer at Wakanda Forever, I was like, why? Why are we doing this? And now that I've seen all the references to the games, I'm like, oh, dude, yeah,
it's there.
It's going to be so good.
Like I love the obstacle course when he jumped off the thing. He's like, "Yes, I made it," but he landed on one of those little key things
on the donut block. Fall. Yeah, the donut block.
Oh my god, I started laughing so hard when I first saw that the first time. I was like, "Yes."
Or the flower power.
They even said that too. They even said that too. They're like, "Oh, they're actually going to use the powers." And then did you hear Gabriel was like, "It's the Tanaki suit." Like, man,
is that the? No,
that's the bear suit.
That is
that's the bear suit that turns into the statue.
Yeah.
So because they had the flying squirrel.
It's a raccoon, but Tanuki. Yes.
Oh, raccoon, right?
Yeah. Not to be confused.
The one they showed in this one was the bear suit.
Well, Tanuki is a raccoon.
Yeah, but this one was the bear suit in this commercial, the one we just watched.
Yeah, but I was getting to the difference between when he just pops up the ears and the tail versus the full suit.
The full suit.
They're the same power essentially, but one is a suit, one is just the transformation, so to speak. So
and that in the bear suit, if you hold down, you turn into like a statue. Nothing can hurt you.
Yeah, it's still a Tanuki, which is a raccoon.
And who is it that's doing the voice for Mario? It's
Chris Pratt.
It's Pratt.
Chris Pratt. Okay.
And he is doing quote unquote pizza face. I will say though, like he's doing a kind of Brooklyn,
but he's not doing the Italian thick.
He's not going ridiculous with it, but we also haven't heard him speak that much. So it won't be that bad. But the "Let's a go" was a little weird,
little on there,
weird. But like I love all the references. So I'm guessing they're trying to convince the Donkey Clan, as it were, to join them in the battle, and that's why they're there and they have to fight Donkey Kong. But also, that's a reference to Smash Bros. Because of the way Mario lunges at him is his move from Smash Brothers.
Yep. And then they did was it 3D Mario Builder or whatever? You saw that when they did that. And then when they did the zoom down from the top into the castle and they showed the map, that's actually the map from the Mario Party.
The other thing I caught too was the map. I was like, oh, right out of the game. Amazing.
Yeah.
Now, the cool thing will be if they can jump from world to world through paintings. And if they do a Mario 64 reference, that will be awesome.
Yeah, do all them little references like that. That'd be really cool.
And like I like how they're like trying to recruit the Toads, and they're like, "We can't do that. We're just cute.
We're adorable.
We're just adorable." It's like, and I love that like you see Bowser's airship castle, whatever, coming towards the castle, and you just see Peach go out there in her racing suit, and she grabs that whole
battle axe thing.
What is that thing called? There's a word for it, but it'll come to me eventually.
Halberd?
Yeah, it's a halberd. It's a halberd. Yeah, that's right. And it's like, oh, okay, she's not going to be a helpless princess. She's going to be the badass version of the princess.
Yes.
Now, if odds that we'll see her do her floating move to jump over something
for Mario 2.
Well, I mean, she's continued it on, but yes, that's where it originated.
I don't see it often because she's out of her dress.
Yeah, but in theory, it'll be when she's in her dress at some point. But but the Mario Kart sequence on Rainbow Road. for at least part of it. So I'm assuming that's how they're going to have to travel with their quote unquote army. And it's also like a Mad Max Fury Road reference too.
Had like a gladiator feel, like when they went into Donkey Kong. It was like when he walked into the gladiatorial ring and arena and Gladiator. It was awesome, dude. Like this movie's just these trailers are killing it. They have to work hard to make this movie suck.
Part of me wonders, like, just ever so slightly, because they have that kind of Mad Max reference, but then we also had the Penguins. So part of me thinks is like, is this a George Miller?
George R.R. Martin?
No, a George Miller reference. So, I mean, like, I'm down. Like, I felt weird about it when I heard about the voice cast, like Jack Black as Bowser, but it actually works. Like,
and is that Jonah Hill playing Luigi? That voice sounded very familiar to me. Him or Justin Long or one of them.
I think it's. I'm gonna look real quick.
Because that voice was like,
there it is. If you hadn't said it, I would have known it. Now I have to look. It is Charlie Day.
Charlie Day. Okay, that makes way more sense.
And okay, so listing it off here.
When the night man comes to fight the day man. Oh,
yeah, exactly. So it's Chris Pratt as Mario, Anya Taylor-Joy is Peach.
Okay.
Charlie Day is Luigi. Keegan-Michael Key is Toad, which totally works. I think he's done Toad voice before, actually. Jack Black is Bowser.
Talking about Keegan-Michael Key from Key and Peele?
Yeah.
Where would he have done Toad voice before?
In other things.
Oh, okay.
What is it? Is it not Sergeant Toad? What is that game that's a separate Toad kind of exploration game? Something like that. Seth Rogen is Donkey Kong.
Nice.
Sebastian Maniscalco is Foreman Spike. I like Sebastian as a comedian. Fred Armisen is Cranky Kong. That totally works. Kevin Michael Richardson is Kamek, whoever that is.
Is that Kramer?
No, Kevin Michael Richardson, black guy.
Okay.
Not Michael Richardson, Kevin Michael Richardson. You would know his voice. He's got a really deep voice. He's done a ton of voice acting, and he was in Homeboys in Outer Space way back when, along with, was he on Martin? He was on one of those shows.
I know the name. I know who you're talking about.
He was on one of those 90s African American shows.
Gotcha.
And then Carrie Payton is Roy the Penguins. So whoever that is, maybe that's the king of the Penguins. But either way, yeah, no, that's only a limited cast. That doesn't even have everybody, but like that's that's star-studded in as it is. But no,
I couldn't even care about the star-studding part. It just the movie looks good.
It looks amazing. Like who is it? Who did is it DreamWorks?
Illumination.
Okay, so that makes sense. Yeah. Because it's just it looks perfect. That's
what the Pixar people's Illumination.
No, Pixar is Pixar. It's Illumination. Somebody else.
Illumination is the one with the little hopping desk lamp, right?
No, that's Pixar. We get why you're confused, but no, Illumination is their own studio. But that's not. But you know, either way, no, that was a ridiculous trailer. Because I mean, they gave us so much. So like, what aren't we going to see?
Minions movies.
I believe so, actually, yes.
Okay.
So yeah,
that trailer will suck in everybody like myself who just was
hesitating.
There's no point in doing a Super Mario's movie. That trailer will turn everybody onto that movie.
Yeah, buddy.
Very much so. So let's talk about a movie trailer that has turned off some of us. The Transformers: Rise of the Beasts teaser trailer.
Hashtag not my Mirage. I'm just putting that out front.
Hashtag not my Primal.
Well, the Primal's better than the Mirage.
So I'm okay.
I think the Beast War characters were fine. It's all the other ones that stuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will tell you that, like, I never enjoyed Beast Wars. I'll just throw that out there right off the bat. But and so when I saw that they were doing a Rise of the Beast, I was like, really? Is that where we're going? We haven't even managed to get the G1 stuff on a decent level playing field, and I will say that Bumblebee gave a really good shot, and I did enjoy Bumblebee, but I swore off Michael Bay movies about 2 movies previous to that. I refused to watch them.
Yeah,
but when they said they were doing Beast Wars, I was like, no, we haven't sorted out the G1 stuff yet, and you want to move on to the next? Like, you're gonna screw this up. And as soon as I saw Primal on the screen, right, and keeping in mind that it's not going to look like the cartoon because they're doing their own stylization of, you know,
Yeah.
what the G1 characters look like. Fair enough. When he landed on the screen, I went, that looks good. That actually looks decent. It doesn't look distorted. It doesn't look weird. It doesn't look retarded. It's decent, right? And I went, I'm willing to accept that. And I thought the rest of the trailer, like, throughout, the only, I'm sure we'll get into other stuff too, right? But in that same scene where they first show you Primal and then they show the interaction between Prime and Primal, why does Prime look like, why does Prime look like he dropped about 300 pounds? Like, he looks so fragile and so skinny in that scene. I was like,
see, I thought the opposite. I thought the opposite with Prime. Well, because he's for the okay. So quick update for everybody who isn't following enough of these movies. This one is a sequel to the Bumblebee movie.
The Bumblebee.
This is not directly tied to the previous Bayverse movies.
Yeah,
and they're making that very obvious.
They're prequels. No. Technically, these are prequels.
Technically, no, they're not.
Bumblebee and all that stuff was supposed to be prequels to
Bumblebee was a soft reboot. They're because that's why everything is so different. Like their Cybertronian presence completely different. The fact that Bumblebee wasn't here since the 40s. Also significantly different. If you consider all of the previous Transformers movies as one incredibly messy canon, Bumblebee reset all of that. They always said that the Bumblebee was meant to be a reboot. Now the fact that he turns into the same Camaro was always stupid to me. It's like, that's a soft nod at the other one. So if we're going into
a hard nod that they all look like Bayverse bots, which are trash.
But that's why there's a redesign.
Yeah, that's the other problem I have too. Is if but to Shoky's point, right? I mean, a soft reboot means you keep some of the stuff, yet you try to reset the timeline so that you can
do better.
Because the stories from the previous movies were a complete disaster, right?
Yeah.
So you had to do something to sort of throw away what you did, yet keep the stuff that was recognizable to those people who maybe are not Transformers fans, right? Or not, hardcore into any of this stuff, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was definitely a soft reboot with Bumblebee.
So
I just don't understand why we can't get a feature-length version of that first 15 minutes of Bumblebee, because the normies are going to come see this because they're normies and it's a big giant blockbuster. It's a family movie.
Because they have to have the human element, unfortunately.
But they're leaving the G1 people on the table. People that are diehard G1s.
This is the same problem.
G1, they're leaving them behind.
So, and this is going to be the same argument I made for Marvel, the MCU versus the comics. This is a reference, not an adaptation. So the problem is like, sure, the G1 fans are the ones you would want to bring in, but making a
But they could bring everybody. I'm not saying just G1.
No,
this way they're just bringing normies. If they did it the other way, they could bring normies and G1 diehards.
But that's why they still have, most of them have a similar or familiar form. That's why Optimus
they don't. Only Optimus and Bumblebee even are close to their similar form. Tell me what G1 Ironhide looked like.
I'm talking about, at least with the Bumblebee movie, there was enough close references. This one, yes, they're going off the deep end with using #NotMyMirage. They're using a Porsche 911, which makes no sense because Jazz was a Porsche 911. So they spend all this money to get a proper 80s Porsche, but completely change what character it is, which means for some reason they didn't want to bring Jazz.
They did it because they wanted to do that. They wanted to do that one stupid scene where he did the holograms of himself.
Yeah,
I'm telling you that somebody wrote that scene first and then they made it fit secondly.
Yeah, but they could have picked any car that wasn't another recognizable G1 character.
Well, it doesn't have to be Formula One. Just any car that's not a main character.
Why? If we're in the 80s, then and even if it is a soft reboot with some nods back to the original three, right? So Jazz gets ripped apart in the first movie.
Yeah.
But this movie is in the 90s, which technically then is before that happened. So why not just make Jazz
and have a Mirage character separate?
Sure. That's what I'm saying. They could have done
that. This is the argument everyone has been having since they showed that they had these Porsches and said it was Mirage. They said it like 2 years ago. When they started this movie, and they said it was Mirage. But why?
And why is it Jazz's alt mode with Mirage's name and Hound's abilities. Right?
Yep.
Because Mirage never
Mirage
did
disappears. He doesn't do the hologram.
Yeah.
That's right. Why didn't he just?
Why don't we
that's
have
the other argument
Hound?
I've seen online is why didn't they just, if the cop car is chasing him, right? Why didn't
Yeah.
they just make Mirage disappear?
Yeah.
Right.
That actually would have made way
more
more sense.
right?
Yeah.
So anyway,
yeah, you're right. I didn't even consider that part, that he makes holograms, which is what Hound does. I'm trying. So wasn't it? Didn't they use, or was it just Hound that when he projected like the big gigantic fake transformer?
It was just Hound.
Okay, it was just Hound that
made
did
the
that.
fake
Okay.
air base.
That's
military air base.
No, not even that. Who did
he did a fake combiner. He did a big.
He did a
huge
giant fake combiner to
Oh,
scare off Devastator.
Yep.
So that was just Hound, not.
It was Computron, wasn't it? Like a big thing of Computron.
No, it was just a random design thing that nobody's ever done anything with.
Yeah, it was. They were like trying to distract Devastator, and then Hound projected like this even bigger combiner.
A little one, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah, it was something that was 10 times the size.
Yeah, it was huge. It was almost like Citybot sized, or Omega Supreme size rather. Yeah. But yeah, either way, no, you're right. Not only did they get the wrong vehicle, they got the wrong powers.
Yeah.
But actually, Mirage kind of makes sense for the powers.
Insult to injury. They made it Pete Davidson doing his voice. Shut up.
Yeah. But then again, it doesn't necessarily have to sound like Pete Davidson.
Also, in that scene, why did Mirage transform the front to the back and the back to the front? Did you see it?
Yes.
Just to be cool.
Yep.
That was real cool.
Exactly. Right. And
because they thought it looked cool.
And it did look
my
cool.
initial reaction to it was that, right? I was like, oh, that's cool. And then my immediate, for about a nanosecond, right, I had that, oh, that's cool. And then I immediately went to, but why?
Why? Yeah. So here's the problem.
All of that?
Hold on. Here's the problem that all three of us are making. We're all making a huge mistake. We're asking questions about a Michael Bay movie.
It's not a Michael Bay movie. Please.
It's Michael Bay produced, though.
Please
he's a producer on it.
It's about as Michael Bay as the TMNT movies were.
He's got a producer credit on it.
You're
on this
crushing
movie.
my hopes and dreams here.
I mean, the problem is he's too connected. I know that
he still has a producing credit on this movie.
Yeah, because he still owns these rights. Now, he might only be under the producer label, but everything about it
it's
is
his
still,
money, and he gets to tell them what to fucking do with it.
Everything about it, he's still too much in charge. He may not be directing that we know of, but it doesn't mean that he doesn't have the head call in it. Now, going back to the Primal discussion, like you're saying, like he does look good. To me, he's so monochrome that like it's disinteresting. Like he's all one color with the exception of his eyes. And when he transforms later in the trailer, it's like he literally just looks like a smooth grayish looking version of Optimus. He has no chrome, he's got no red, he's got no blue, he's got no white, nothing to make him stand out. And also his eyes are the wrong color. Why are they green? It's like those aren't the color of his eyes. His eyes are blue or red. Wait,
well, he didn't have eyes. He had the lenses in the show, didn't he?
No, he had eyes.
I mean, I'm kind of hoping that they're still in the middle of.
Yeah, no, the CG is probably not completed,
right? And there might be like the trailer showed him. Like I was expecting as well when he transformed that there would be some red and blue in there, and there wasn't. And
at all.
And I kind of went, I hope that they do.
But the toys also have been essentially revealed, so they're not going to be able to change too much.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's Hasbro, so but
they can do a repaint. They'll do a G1 repaint nod to
100%,
to where it has the red and white and the
Studio Series, Studio Series Beast Wars repaint. Yes,
legacy repaint.
Yep. So here's my issue. Slight issue with it. It's Ron Perlman doing his best Optimus Primal with a half British accent.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand.
The one guy,
and I'll leave it at that. I don't understand.
His name. The voice actor who did Primal is still available. I don't understand why they didn't use him either.
Oh, why am I drawing a blank now? For some reason, my brain goes to David K, but David K was Megatron.
No, Megatron.
Optimus was. Well, you weren't into Beast Wars, so I forgive you for not knowing.
I'm trying to Google it as we're talking.
Oh my God, why can't I think of it off the top of my head? I know his name, I can't think of it. But yeah, he's been around forever. He's still around, so why wouldn't you? But then again, that's I guess because they want to have Gary Chalk.
Chalk.
I feel real bad because I'm envisioning Gary Chalk, but I'm associating David Kay's name to Gary Chalk's face. So I'm actually worse. So like I because I like Gary Chalk as an actor, like not just a voice actor, but
I wonder if did Ron Perlman read his bio that Gary Chalk is a British-born Canadian actor and he tried to do a British.
That's what I'm thinking.
Canadian accent.
But it's not like he can't research it. But we also know that anything Bayverse doesn't give a shit at what anything was, as long as we've got Peter Cullen at the helm of being Optimus Prime. But like, and the other thing is, you know, and Ricky and I sort of talked about this the other day. The idea of where do the beasts even fall in line here? Because we're also getting Predacons and Terracons.
But it sounds like from the little speech thing that he gave Optimus Prime when they first showed him, it sounds like they're going to bring in fucking time travel into this goddamn movie.
That still doesn't even make sense. Like, so at this point, it makes no sense.
They did with the Netflix trilogy.
I was going to go there. Kingdom.
They came from the future into the past to try to write and
yeah.
They're just smashing everything together. Which, again, so for me, all I want is a good plot. Give me a good plot.
And sorry. You're looking in the wrong direction for that.
I hear you.
This is a Bayverse movie.
Just saying, give me a good plot and I can look past all of this stuff.
How about, here's one thing I'll say. Give me one plot. Because these movies have a bad habit of having like 4 to 5 separate plots happening.
Yeah.
And then they don't finish half of them.
And they're not even full plots. They're all subplots.
Like Unicron.
Yeah, Earth being Unicron.
Unicron. We're just gonna leave that dangling for all of eternity. Yeah. Not to mention, and as long as they don't retcon stuff that happened from Bumblebee, then I'll be on board. Because the previous Bayverse 5 movies had a bad habit of retconning what happened last time, not to mention what happened 2 movies ago or all the way back at the beginning. They're like,
my thing is they need to get back in line with the type of characters they are. That is the one thing that the biggest thing that lost me in those movies is that, like we've talked about it before, the spirit of the character. And when you made Optimus Prime a murder bot and one who did not give a fuck about human life and
Cybertronian life,
vocally stated that he would kill every human being that got in his way, you lost me. That is not Optimus Prime at fucking all. Not even close to. This is the guy who literally every iteration of Transformers has died going against what he stated in those movies.
And wasn't that in which one had Transformers?
It was Age of Extinction.
Age of Extinction. So like it made, and basically, well, he didn't say kill all humans. He killed all humans within that company, which also was still absurd.
No, he said, "I will kill all humans if I had to."
Yeah,
he says that blatantly.
And then the fact that and I did a quote.
And he murders Sentinel and he murders Megatron. I don't give a fuck what you say. Those guys were on the ground and he whapped their fucking heads off. He murdered them.
Yeah,
they were done.
Same thing with the Fallen. And Megatron coming back as Galvatron, then coming back as Megatron. And I made this joke way back when I reviewed Age of Extinction, which I believe I called damn, I had a whole ridiculous title that combined everything. It was like Revenge of the Fallen Moon or something like that. I just combined all the fucking names together into one ridiculous thing because that's basically what that movie did. But the idea that, like, one, the characterization, they just said screw it. Nobody is who they're supposed to be. They're just going to be whatever. The fact that they basically almost forget what they shot in the previous scene. As I always said, is like they film an entire day's worth of work, throw out that script, and start over new the next day filming something else. And that's everything. And like Bumblebee was definitely better in a lot of ways. It really was. And I hope that with this one, they continue down that path. But like the fact, and mind you, we know nothing other than we have our Autobots we know of. We have new Autobots like RC coming in looking completely different from the last movie, let alone how she got to Earth. Oh, well, I guess they could have found the other escape pods, or they redirected to finally get to Earth, which is how we get our new Autobots on Earth, considering it was only like Prime and Bumblebee before. But now we got non-Decepticons coming along with Predacons and Terracons, but not more Decepticons, so to speak, from what we know about toy listings and the cast. So it's. I mean, I'm not saying it won't be good, but I'm incredibly reticent considering what like they're smashing together so many different storylines from different eras or even different TV shows entirely that aren't even within the G1 continuity. And it's just like, okay, just like who is it? Wheeljack seems to be a VW bus.
Oh, is that who that
I
is?
think
that's what everybody keeps saying. It's Wheeljack, and I don't know where they got that from the commercial. I mean, I know that it's a Transformer.
Human.
It would make more sense to be Ratchet or Ironhide, but
yeah, but could it not just be? Well, but see, so okay, so Ratchet and Ironhide are not listed in IMDb, but
no,
I mean,
they're
that
not.
doesn't mean that they don't exist, right? But could it not just be a human driving a VW bus with RC?
There was no human in the seat.
Yeah.
Because you see all in there while RC's shooting and stuff. There's nobody in the seat.
I guess I was too taken in by the sexiness that is RC hanging out the side of a VW bus.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Red paint scheme.
The red and pink. People are eliminating the fact she does have pink, but she is mostly red.
Yeah.
No,
but,
if you
she had the
no,
visor,
confirmed.
Cool,
Confirmed.
right?
Wheeljack is the bus.
That's
sending
by who?
Toy images. Sending in the Discord.
Fine.
God damn it.
Wheeljack is because we couldn't have Wheeljack as a race car?
Well,
like
probably
as another race car?
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
There he is, right there in his hound glory almost. It's like no, but same thing. You're making not. I mean, I can see why they wouldn't want to use a Japanese van for whatever reason. Actually, I don't even think that's sense.
Fat tubby piece of shit.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they didn't want to get. I mean, that is a straight up Ratchet mold. That is almost a straight up Ratchet mold. Yeah, and they couldn't go there.
Or Ironhide. Like, why not just call them? No, because they had Ironhide from the original movies.
Yeah,
but they had Ratchet in the original movies.
They were both. They were both in the first.
Ratchet was in there too.
Because Ratchet was a different color and different vehicle in every fucking movie he was in.
So, but in the Bumblebee movie, Ratchet and Ironhide looked very G1.
So again, right, we're back to the soft reboot thing. If they've killed Jazz in the original movies, if Ratchet was murdered, right, by Nest or whatever the hell it was.
Yes.
Ironhide, right. So if
Ironhide was killed by Sentinel.
Right. If they have killed off, quote unquote, those characters, then somebody made a decision that, well, we cannot. But again, all of this is in the 90s before those events happened.
Yeah.
So why the fuck not?
And Wheeljack was shown in the G1 flashback at the beginning.
They all were. All the main Arcbots were essentially shown off in that. But here's the other thing. So talking about these soft reboot ideas, whoever, I think it's supposed to be Scourge, is the evil 18-wheeler.
That tow truck.
Who looks like Megatron from the third movie.
He reminds me of the truck from the Stephen King movie. What was that one with the vehicles that came alive?
Oh, the AC/DC song.
Yes. Why can't we? Why do we know these things immediately until you
Rise
ask?
of the Machines.
No, that's not it. It's not heavy metal. It's something not twisted metal. Why can't we remember these things?
It was like his first movie that came out.
People are screaming into their phones right now. They're screaming into their phones.
Yeah, and I see that reference with the goblin face, the green goblin face on the front.
If you take that off, it looks like
vehicles.
Well, actually, that's the only modification that was on that truck.
Yeah.
But this one looks like Megatron's thing. It was. I know you're googling right now, but I'm still trying to pull out my memory. My problem is trying to figure out whether or not the skyline that Nightbird is actually accurate to the time period.
Not Hardline, not. That's gonna bother me.
Seriously though, what year was this supposed? What year is Rise of the Beast?
Early 80s.
It was like late 70s, early 80s when that.
No. I'm talking about what decade or what year is this Transformers movie supposed?
It's supposed to be like late 80s, early 90s.
90s.
It's supposed to be the 90s.
Yep,
like late.
Okay,
80s,
so that skyline could be accurate because it looks like an R32.
Maximum Overdrive.
Yes, that's the one.
That's right, Maximum Overdrive.
So painful.
Yeah,
yep, it looks like that truck to me. That's what I thought of when I first saw it. That or like an evil version of Mater from fucking.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there's actually two tow trucks then, right?
Yeah,
because the other tow truck character is in there. But like, so there, I think the cast listings are incomplete because there's so many more robots that we see than we even have seen toys for. So in theory, there'll be a lot more either a non-named goons of some sort or something else like that. But
so far to me, the beast modes they look the best. Rhinox looked cool. Air Razor looked cool. Sheor looked cool, but that scale thing was crazy.
I love this is the part that's weird. Is the beasts are all normal Cybertronian size, not mini robot size like they would be. So they I don't think they're from the future. I think that they're just an offshoot.
Which again doesn't make any sense from a storyline perspective, because does Cybertron suddenly have the same animals on it that Earth does, and why?
Well, in Beast Machines, yes.
No, because that was Beast Machines was after all the other shit where they went back from Earth.
Yes, but remember they dug down really deep and they found the bat that Night Scream, whatever his name was. No, it was not. Either way, the bat guy. The animal form that he scanned was a giant bat skeleton on Cybertron, buried deep in the past. So organic life existed on Cybertron to a similar degree. So I mean, but the thing is, I think that they're meant to have come to Earth and got these forms. However, they can't perfectly imitate at this point organic creatures, you know. And I
did like how they weren't organic. I did not need any of that in my life right now.
They do have fur, but not in the same way. Like they don't look like a real thing. Not to mention they're massive, and seemingly there's going to be like maybe they've been around long enough to be like a local legend to wherever they're at, because it seems like they might be worshipped to a degree, or at least maybe Primal is. My biggest problem is just the colorization and the lack thereof. But I like the idea that because like the toys never scaled technically correctly to anything, that the idea that the actual robots in universe their scale is so weird because they're scaled to their actual sizes.
On a hangout, like, because I have the G1 Devastator and I have G1 Blaster, and the G1 Blaster is bigger than Devastator.
Yeah, exactly.
You just put them next to each other. It's crazy.
Yeah. I do like the idea, like the toys. I'm sure you guys have seen this. The Optimus Primal mask that turns into a Optimus Primal robot, even though it looks nothing like they do in the show. So I don't know. I don't know if they're planning on like nuking the G1 cast and the Beast. I think the title is just. I think they just picked a title, and it's not like they said Rise of the Beasts. It's like no, it's the Beasts are here. Whoop-de-doo. Like it's not going to be like they're taking over. You know, it's just they're here.
Transformers: The Beasts Are Here does not have the same marketing ring.
They could just reuse "We're Back."
No, why didn't they just say Transformers? That's just Prime.
That's just Prime.
But that also would be pretty misleading. It's Prime. You know, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I know it's probably going to be a clusterfuck that's better than it should be, but I think it's clusterfuck nonetheless.
I
have no hopes. I'll put it that way.
I'm not giving them movie theater money for this.
I'm not either.
I don't think I will either. But I will say that and this is the part that scares me, right? Is that the trailer did make me a little bit excited, right? But now I'm afraid that my hopes are going to be dashed like the last. Well, not again. Bumblebee was good. I like Bumblebee, but the way the last two actual Bayverse movies crushed my soul.
The Wahlberg universe.
Yeah, the Wahlberg movies. Oh my god.
Yeah. Last night was so bad.
So far, it doesn't look like Wahlberg's in it, so that's a positive.
No, he was not even born yet. Hopefully, or maybe he's not present in this universe.
By the way, fun fact, because most of the movie was shot in Montreal, they did actually send a broadcast out to the local areas around Montreal. So about like Montreal to Toronto, which is about 5-6 hours away. They were asking people to donate their 90s cars to the movie. And I think that's where they got the Porsche from. I don't think they actually bought it.
Yeah.
I think it actually belongs to somebody.
Well, then they would have had to got some of them to repaint to make clones because they had to have more cars. Because they have shown that there's more than one
Oh yes,
actual physical
yeah,
vehicle. So they had, I
yeah,
think they had 3 Porsches, if I
maybe.
remember correctly. It's not like the plastic nose
Well, that's still pretty cool
Camaros
to be
that they
able to
have an
sit
infinite
back
amount
and
of.
Yeah,
watch
like
that
they were
movie and be like,
actually
"That's
they were
my car in the
actually
movie."
yeah they were actually asking people to donate their car. Like your car would be in the movie and we'll give it back to you. But they needed to put 90s cars on the roads right while they were shooting the film, and this is what they did to
Yeah.
try to entice people, right? To hey, if you give us your car for a month or whatever it was, it's going to be in this movie. So
That's pretty
Okay, so it would have to be mid 90s because the R33 Skyline that Nightbird is 95 to 98. So if this
And the
movie
fact
is
that they
set,
got Nightbird transforming can suck my tank.
yeah, in general,
the
they
fact
just
that they have Nightbird at all, why is Nightbird? And Nightbird is not a transformer. Like what?
no,
Nope.
they just picked a
It's a
name.
man-made
They
top.
just picked the damn name. That's
I
all it
was
is.
I was equally disgusted when they repaint when Takara Tomy took RC from the Masterpiece line and repainted it into Nightbird's colors, and and I was like, but she never transformed.
Well,
So
I mean,
why?
Now all of them are doing
everyone
that
else
because
is
New
doing
Age
it.
just did it too.
Yeah. But I
Like
mean,
EE got it. EE got it from New Age, and the first thing he did was pop the backpack off of it, so he can't.
yeah,
even
no car
transform
mode.
anymore.
Sorry.
Yep.
Yep.
So, okay, here we go. We've got, yeah, so Scourge is the 18-wheeler with all the big heavy
Spike
shit on it.
bits.
And I forget the name of the tow truck, Evil Meter, as it is. Also, I think the main thing, what they did with what they're doing with the Nightbird reference, I think that's supposed to be an alternators reference because they did all those Nissans in the alternators line. And I think that's all that is. Like, they could have picked any other ridiculous 90s model car that would have worked as a evil quote unquote vehicle. But I also love that Bumblebee, instead of becoming any other cool 90s car, stuck with the Camaro, except that he gets like a weird off-road upgrade later on just to make sure that it's different enough.
Can we stop doing that too? Can
Yes,
we stop
we
modifying their alt modes to be right? Like,
and it's fine when their alt mode goes like into an armed mode, like where you've got like missiles and shit coming out. That's fine.
just
But like,
transform.
yeah, just turn. Yeah, I think
Just transform into robot mode and fight it out.
Turn
Like,
into a 10-foot tall robot or stay a car with a gun on the front of it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, and like, when they did that in, was it 3?
Yeah, it was the third one.
In the third one, I actually was on board with that, especially with the wreckers. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with their representation of the wreckers, but I liked it that they were all like NASCAR stock cars that had guns just coming out of them everywhere because they were badasses. But the fact that they were led by Bumblebee in a armed Camaro mode. And by the way, I missed the black and yellow instead of the yellow and black Bumblebee version. I actually like that stealth mode. And even when he was the 70s, or I'm sorry, the 60s Camaro, not the 70s to 80s Camaro. So either way, I don't know. Whoa.
It's going to be trash.
It won't be trash, but it won't be great.
Oh, it's going to be trash.
Look, it will. If they get anywhere as bad as the original Bayverse movies, then yes. But as long as they keep it within at least Bumblebee quality, I'll be on board. But the fact that they're throwing the beasts in, I'm gonna edit out every reference from now on.
No, I'm doing it on purpose at this point.
I know you are. That's why I'm gonna start editing it out from now on. Let me.
Great.
This is a 153. Okay, yes. Let's get an outsider's view here. Real quick.
His opinion doesn't matter.
Like this? All right.
He's Canadian.
Just give
if
us
his opinion doesn't match mine, it doesn't matter.
I'm noting 153. Remove She-Hulk reference.
Okay.
It's just we're gonna be referencing that you referenced it, but I'm gonna remove your reference.
Yeah, we're not gonna do that.
That's fine. All right, well, let's move on anyways because we got more movie trailers.
I'm just doing it to fuck with what's his face that fucking bitched about it.
Everyone bitched about it.
No.
Anyways, what was our next movie? We're so
the 90s show.
It was
the 90s show. Or do you want to
that night. Okay, yeah. Since we're in the 90s with the Transformers, let's talk about Red.
Good segue. Good.
That's a segue. Thank you for the Canadian setup there. By the way, a Canadian setup is just made of denim. It's fine. Either way, I put this show in the sequels we never need pile.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm sure I would have seen it on the Netflix trailers, but yeah, you brought it up in the first place. No, just no.
I just went, like, as soon as you popped it in the chat, I went again, but why?
I don't know. I don't think
Right.
I don't think
those two
Kurtwood
just
Smith
needed-
needs money that bad.
I was gonna say, I just think they need work.
I will tell you that seeing the parents in the trailer and looking like they're having a bunch of fun with it was the only thing that hooked me for the show,
But-
and the rest of it I was just like, I don't need this in my life.
Yeah, I mean, why is this not just called Red and Kitty?
The
Like,
Foremans or some shit. Man.
yeah, like this is just, it's falling under the same trope that we get of, hey, remember this show? Here we are 20 years later. Let's see what happens with those kids.
But it doesn't even have them in it. It's their kids.
It's their kids that are coming to stay.
Apparently they are on the show. They'll
They do have them in
like
here
they'll
coming.
pop in and out sort of thing, but they're not. Yeah,
Exactly. It's Fuller House.
Yep.
Except it's Foreman House. I mean, you could have called it the House of Foreman, and I probably would have been okay with that, or some other type of pun. You know, but the fact that, at least to me, watching it, you know, seeing literally the old Foreman house, but looking almost no different. Like, this is supposed to be from 1979, where we left off, to what I'm assuming is like 1993 or something. There should be either some upgrades or they've redecorated, and all I see is characters that look vaguely older. I mean, mind you, they're significantly older, but they only look vaguely older in a house that looks roughly the same, and some new annoying teenagers are here.
You could argue that Red is cheap enough that he never would have done anything in the house.
I could see that. I could see that. And
That
what
was
I
a
also,
legit argument.
what is funny is, like, Kurtwood Smith doesn't look that much older, even though they actually are. But like, I'm forgetting Kitty's actress's name.
Yeah, I can't remember either one.
Yeah, that's the name of the show. What's the name of that thing? That's gonna be the episode title. What was the name of? You know, I just keep forgetting this shit. Either way, like, she doesn't look hardly any older at all. And the haircut, I wish she had a 90s-ish haircut, because that was one thing about her character, is she sort of updated her haircut as time went on. Even though the last season was like a major change to her haircut. I remember that because they talked about it on screen. So to see her basically go all the way back to that same haircut, and it's supposed to be 20 or 15 some odd years later, is kind of odd in my mind. Like, I feel like there's not enough update to the designs. Maybe this is just a trailer, not a whole show. Well, obviously we'll give it a chance. But it's because that 80s show was a thing for about 5 minutes. But at least that was a different set of characters.
It was the cousins, dude. They still try to tie it to him.
But
There
it
was an 80s show?
Yeah, that 80s show.
It had the dad from Unhappily Ever After was in it.
Yeah, so
Really?
it wasn't a direct
It
reference
didn't
or
make it a full
spinoff.
season. Yes,
Yeah.
it was. It was their cousins.
Yeah, but it was cousins but we weren't in the same town. We weren't even referencing the characters that they came from. They were just other people, and it wasn't like we had pop-ins from Eric or anybody else. It was a sequel side story. And
It was happening at the same time as that 70s show. Rusty is why you might have missed it, because I think it was like during
not
the
season
very
3
last
or 4.
season, or like the season before. Like and
it only went like 4 episodes, 5 episodes.
Yep.
It didn't
even make
last.
a full
Oh my
season before
God.
that shit off.
Tommy Chong is going to be in the 90s show, so that might
Oh God.
do
90-year-old stoner in the 90s show. I
Yeah.
don't know if I need to
Oh
say
God. Oh wait.
Come on.
Well, we know who's not going to be in this show.
Deborah Jo Rupp, by the way.
Deborah
is the
Jo
name.
Rupp.
I don't
Yes,
remember.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we're definitely not going to have Hyde in this show for sure.
No, he's
He's not coming anywhere.
He's
in
permabanned.
He's in purgatory with
Yeah,
oh Jesus, House of
Spacey.
Cards.
all of them. Yes, Kevin Spacey.
Spacey.
Kevin
Yes.
Spacey.
Yeah, he and all that legal troubles in the last 10, 15 years. I mean, like, I think only the new Eric, quote unquote, is the only one who's a direct reference, because I doubt the other ones are kids of any of the other characters. They just happen to be new
Talking about
neighbors.
the cousin that came to live with them.
No, I'm talking about this is the Donna and Eric's kid coming to live with them.
Yeah, I thought you said
and her
in this
friends.
show.
Yeah, so the friends that she's going to make here, I think, are not going to be like the kids of the other characters. It's not going to be like Jackie and Kelso's kid.
You say that, but I'm telling you, it's going to happen.
Well, I'll do a Google. We'll go look at the cast just in case.
They're going to do something stupid like that.
Well, so
But they're
oh,
all
yeah,
direct
okay.
references.
Like,
I will
what's
say that.
What's the last name of the kids? Is that what you're looking for?
Indeed. I'm going to check it out here. Okay, so, oh yeah. Okay, so Leia Foreman. Okay, oh no, okay. Fez is going to be in it. So Vomer Valderrama is going to be in it. Ashton Kutcher, Mila Kunis. No last names given. Look how sneaky they are.
Yeah.
Only the one has a last name given so far.
Yeah,
But I mean, I
their
don't think the blatantly Asian boy is going to be someone's kid in this,
It's gonna be
because
Fez's adopted kid. Watch.
well, he'll probably be the Fez. If I had to guess,
They're gonna do everything they can to tie every one of these kids back to those fucking people.
somehow, I think, but I don't know. I don't think we don't need it. I mean, well, we don't need a show in general.
We don't need a lot of stuff. And they still
The Asian kid is Tommy Chong's illegitimate.
There you go.
That would be
There you
hilarious.
go.
And actually, he's not Asian. He's Hawaiian. We all need to apologize.
Oh,
Woo,
sorry.
look
Nope.
at us.
Hawaiians are Pan-Asian, so
They're Pan
I don't have to
Asian,
apologize for shit.
but I think we were making it straight up Asian. But yeah, no. We'll see what happens. I mean, it's probably
Canadians don't apologize for anything.
this is
That's
true
because they don't ever do anything wrong because they're too nice.
Yeah, they don't.
Hashtag sarcasm.
They don't apologize for anything. Yeah, we know
They
Mike
apologize for
definitely
everything,
doesn't.
literally everything.
I mean,
Mike's
Tom.
not a real Canadian. He's a northern Texan.
He's North Texas. He's from really North Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an Albertanian or whatever they're technically called.
Well, now he's an Albertanian.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. He wasn't from there technically. So, but either way, like, it might be good. It might suck. It'll be interesting to see.
No, don't give that thing any fucking slack. That thing's gonna be garbage. It's gonna be stupid. Who cares if it has funny parts in it? The fact that it exists.
The trailer, the trailer seemed to.
I think it's gonna lack. I think it's gonna lack the charm that the original one had, and it's just gonna be nostalgic.
The original one lacked the charm by the last 2 seasons. That's why it fucking bombed out of existence instead of slowly fading away nicely.
Well, that's because Topher Grace wasn't there anymore,
and they tried too hard to keep the formula going without him.
Yes, I know.
The whole entire show is them trying to keep the formula going without them in it. So it's done from the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be dumb, but you know, Netflix lives on dumb.
I'm out.
I will give it a shot.
Nope. I'll let you talk about how it's the greatest show ever, and I'll just remind myself that you like.
Don't forget to edit that out. He made another show.
God damn it!
I'm just gonna randomly have you editing 202 so fucking much.
202 and 202.
You're gonna get tired of editing.
Yeah.
So was Shoki's favorite show. He's gonna get a tattoo on his ass.
I'm just muting Ricky from now on.
It would be easier if you just replace Ricky with me, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, but we can't. Yeah, I don't know. It depends on if you can get along with Rob or not. So either way, well, actually, you might need to fill in here for a couple weeks until Rob comes back. So we'll see what happens.
Oh no,
we'll just see. Oh no, Rusty has to come on. And hang
it's
out
just
with us.
me and Shoki in a rotating cast.
Yeah, that's just why we're rotating side characters. Extra characters.
You're gonna be Sideshow Bob.
Okay, so either way, we'll slide on away from the 90s.
Thank God.
We'll see if that 90s show can match its destiny.
I wasn't even going to go there. But speaking of old people who didn't need to reprise their old roles,
I disagree with this statement already.
No,
it already looks better than the last one.
What?
Yeah.
I need a new co-host.
Last one was garbage. I hated the last one.
I need a new co-host because Ricky just
justified
this movie for some reason.
Yeah. Okay, She-Hulk.
Okay.
The last movie was total garbage.
Well, I think
at least looks better than that.
Well, realistically, we all know that Harrison Ford is not technically reprising his role as Indy. The computer is. So yes, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
I like it because they're going back to more of the archaeological stuff than
is this in the 90s too?
Aliens bullshit.
Is this one taking place in the 90s?
Probably because
it kind of looks like it does. The dial tone of Destiny. I'm just saying no.
The cars in the trailer don't look 90s. They look like
60s.
late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah, because the last one with Mutt was supposed to be like the 50s.
Was it really?
Probably in the 60s. Yeah.
I didn't even watch that.
It had to be the late 40s, early 50s. Remember, they're still doing nuclear testing out there. The whole beginning of the movie.
Well, so the alien one, that
was garbage.
Whatever of Crystal, right? So that was still like the Nazis were still in there, right? So
nope, that was the Russians.
Oh, the Russians? Okay, so that would have been
the 50s, 40s or 50s.
Missile Crisis era. So.
Yep. Not 63. It wasn't that far ahead.
61 it wasn't the Cold War era.
No, I think Cold War started immediately after World War II ended.
Okay.
So, but what I'm saying is like because you had
still late 60s, early 70s would line up with how much he's aged, right? So
yeah, this would probably be late 60s, very very early.
I mean,
70s.
does it though? I mean, that is kind of the problem, is that it's not exactly in universe, isn't exactly keeping up with how old he actually is. Now, of course, the one thing is we do get severely de-aged. Actually, it's not even de-aged at this point. It's just a fucking whole-on digital recast of him being. So we're getting some new-ish young indie, or of normal age indie scenes in the trailer, and you get Sala talking about the good old days as though he seemed to enjoy all the shit that happened back in the day. Okay, so looking at it right here, the shot, what I'm assuming is in New York. That is definitely, because that is a 70s.
So there's a scene with a ticker tape parade going on.
Yeah.
Well, they did ticker tape.
So these are
30s.
the cars, at least in the scene of him walking across the street, are late 60s, early to mid 70s.
Lindbergh got a ticker tape parade in the 30s. So
yeah, this movie's all over the place. I'm just rewatching.
No, so am I. While we're talking about it,
it's probably I'm guessing 60s or 70s because, like I said,
but it's all over the place, Ricky. It's so there's scenes from like World War II. There's scenes from the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about his modern, like when he's old.
Yeah. Well, I guess we could find out how long New York kept using the old yellow cabs like that. That would give us a good set. The old shoebox.
Those things probably went up into the 80s. Yeah.
And those are definitely all 60s and 70s cars there for sure. Because
I'm saying it's got to be late 60s, early 70s. Because
that looked like
the age. The Crystal Skull thing was like in the 50s because his kid was supposed to be like James Dean.
Yeah.
So you're looking at the 50s.
Okay, so I'm gonna guess that must be either an astronaut. Okay, hold on.
Don't they talk about the moon landing in this one?
Hold on.
69.
Hold on. You can see in the ticker tape thing, you can see the banner going across the street, but it's reversed, so I'm going to have to get a screenshot and flip it. Also, Antonio Banderas in this movie, looking pretty good. Which he was also in Uncharted, so it's kind of funny. Oops, I totally missed. Oh, nope, it's the next shot.
There's another human being that has not aged well.
To a degree.
Yeah, so just to get Ricky's blood in a boil and everything, is this a time travel movie?
I think so.
I'm trying to get my blood in a boil. I don't think it's a time travel one. I think it's going to be a lot of member berries shit because they know he's.
I think it's a lot of flashbacks. I don't think. Yep. I think all of this is going to take place modern day, but we're going to have the past. Like you see Mads Mikkelsen in clearly a Nazi uniform.
Yep.
But odds are that's a flashback.
He went to get the dial and then fast forward to modern times and it'd be the one that got away. So now he's got to go try to finish getting it back together and blah, blah.
And isn't what's her face? Like Marion is back in this, right?
She was in the last one.
Oh, that's true. That's true. So she's back. Yeah. So, I mean, that looks, because the parade thing, which by the way, the CG Harrison Ford on that horse is so bad. Especially if you actually pause it in the middle of it, like I'm currently doing, it looks so fucking bad. But I mean, like that looks like roughly either moon landing time. I can't read the
69, 70, somewhere in there.
Yeah,
was the moon
it's really hard to tell because there are banners that clearly say something about the event, but it's hard to tell what they are.
It doesn't matter too much. We know it's not.
No,
90s.
but I'm just trying to set
2000.
Okay, no wait, that looks like a Okay, so there's like a Miss America type girl in the convertible.
Miss America's been around since the 30s and 40s itself. So
I know. I'm just trying to get reference is all I'm doing. Either way, it doesn't matter. But no, I think. Oh, hey, there's a much better way to see it right there. Oh, there's all kinds of shit that happens in this parade.
You can probably also just Google somebody who broke it down and told you what year it happened in.
No, there's not even plot details yet, unfortunately, since the trailer just dropped. So nobody's updated so far with leaks or anything. But yeah, I think the issue is that it's going back and forth between our modern day. Oh, okay, hold on. Is that Boyd? What's his face? Is this guy? Okay, so that's a protest going on. This is
great podcasting, guys.
Well, it is because we're breaking it down. Okay, so somebody's holding up a war is hell sign.
Yeah, so
So this is not
still late 60s, early 70s.
So in theory, that's
gonna be a Vietnam rally. So it's late 60s, early 70s.
Or it could be a victory, quote unquote, parade. So I don't know. It is confusing as hell because we're getting stuff from so many different decades. Boyd Holbrook is the person I'm trying to reference. Couldn't think of his name. Yeah, because there's a car chase that happens clearly back in the day. Then there's the modern day shit that we're seeing. It's just going back and forth.
Yeah, my guess is going to be back in the 40s. He went after this dial of destiny to try to stop the Nazis from getting it, kind of like the Spear of Destiny shit.
Yeah,
try to stop them from getting it. They lost it somewhere along the way, and now in modern times, the Russians are now trying to get it. So now he's got to go back and stop them from getting it too. It's going to be some bullshit like that.
And I'm going to be honest, like him wearing the old costume kind of sucks. Like it just it doesn't look good on him anymore. It's like
I disagree.
I think he's gone. He's so well. Here's the problem. Harrison Ford is literally 80.
He's like and in better shape than I am at 42. So.
Except that he's not doing any of his stunts, and you can tell that just by watching. It's clearly a CG face. Stunts.
I just don't want him to fall down and break a fucking hip. He's in his 80s, dude.
I mean, he broke his ankle on The Force Awakens.
Yeah,
he's by slightly tripping going through a door. Yep. Like, there's no way other than like when he's sort of standing there doing nothing, like the final scene of the trailer where he does his whipping and then everybody pulls out the gun and then
I love that inverse. I love that shit, dude. That shit's fucking. That's a callback, but not a blatant callback. I loved it.
And I'm gonna throw in a tiny Mike rant here from Mike's point of view. Not I don't agree with this. Like
they're gonna make a girl Indiana Jones. It's the end of the fucking world. Blah.
That's Mike's argument. Is that Phoebe Waller-Bridge is coming in to replace him as quote unquote Indiana Jones. And frankly, I never thought we needed more Indiana Jones without rebooting. And I guess there's rumors that he won't let anyone else play that. And it's like, I'm sorry, do you own the fucking rights?
He doesn't have control over that.
It's like you don't have control over that.
Well, and more importantly, other people already have played Indiana Jones. You had the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles with the guy from Boondocks playing Boondocks.
And that was after the original 3 movies came out. So, I mean, like, the argument there, but nobody's played a quote-unquote modern Indiana Jones, meaning nobody's continued on the timeline except for him. It's only been
that doesn't sound like the Harrison Ford we all know and love, the one who wanted to kill Han Solo back in fucking Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah,
it does not sound like him to say no. Nobody can play this character but me.
I just
and the only reason why he came back for the new ones is they had to throw a fuck ton of money at them, and they had a promise that they would let him die in that movie.
And that's
it does not sound like Harrison Ford to say no. I own this character.
And that's where my argument is for this movie. Is his only agreement for doing it again is that they finally kill him in this one?
Maybe.
And I mean, like, does he? As long as he gets a decent send off. I mean, I'm not going to watch it. By no means am I going to watch this movie. I don't care. So that's going to be.
I want it to wash the nasty taste out of my mouth from the last one.
Why do you think it will?
My biggest problem, because of the premise of it already, the fact that he's back to doing archaeological stuff, not metaphysical aliens and spiritualism shit. He's back to archaeological stuff. So he's back to being actual Indiana Jones.
I will.
So that right there is already a step in the right direction.
You mean metaphysical kind of stuff like the Lost Ark or the Last Crusade?
Those are all archaeological things, ding dong.
Except that
alien skull from a fucking paranormal dimension.
No, it was Bible magic.
It was religious artifacts
and spirituality.
You're trying to connect religious artifacts to alien skulls from a paranormal dimension. Relax. Nobody's arguing religion with you right now.
Well, you said metaphysical spirituality.
Yeah, but like, the aliens shit.
Yeah, well, there's no reason aliens can't exist.
Yeah, but I don't need it in an Indiana Jones movie based on archaeological. Anyway, when did we and when did we become the society that can no longer be satisfied with trilogies?
When did we become the society that needs trilogies? Why do we need trilogies at all?
Trilogies have been around, like long running stuff's been around forever. There's a series on HBO Max right now that you can watch that I used to love them when I was a kid. It's an old black and white series of movies. They're like detective movies. They're called The Thin Man. It's like the Thin Man Returns, the Son of the Thin Man. There's like 7 movies in that fucking series. So having multiple movies in a series with a singular character is not an issue. It's the fact that Hollywood has now run out of ideas, so the only thing they can do is go back and pull out old stuff like this and redo it again.
But why can't we just have a movie that stands on its own? Why does everything have to become a series now? It's one thing when it's based on books, but when it's based on a book or something like that has long running stories or multiple stories to tell, okay.
Do you want me to tell you why they're doing it on purpose in Hollywood right now? MCU. The hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars that the MCU has generated is the reason why Hollywood thinks that they need to make long form movie stories that are 20 fucking movies long.
Yeah, but there's a difference between the MCU, like Shoki just said, right? The MCU has hundreds.
I agree. I'm not arguing that. I agree.
Storylines and different characters that you can introduce and still make a good story. Retelling Indiana Jones over and over and over and over and over, and I said it 5 times because now there's 5 movies.
Fair point.
It's unnecessary. Right?
But it's not a retelling; it's a continual adventure. This guy, I like the fact that it's a new adventure every time. It's not a reboot.
You said 3 times now he's going back to archaeological stuff, meaning that's what he did the first 3 times.
But he's not going back to the same thing. I know. I'm saying it's not the Raiders of the Lost Ark again.
The story is not different enough to keep people interested, right? And this trailer is nothing but eye candy to try to get people interested. But again, I will say the same thing that we said about the 90s show. Do we really need this?
We don't need it, but I'd rather be this than the lost soul of Doom last. Well, that was him. So now you have to leave it in. Go fuck yourself, Shoki.
Because I said it.
Yeah, no, he said it, so I don't have to remove it.
Yeah.
So, well, I'll tell you what, will be better than this.
Yeah.
Hulk will actually make sense compared to this movie.
I highly doubt that.
By the way, and I am with Rikki, by the way, the whip at the end with the guns coming out.
And no, that's funny. It's funny.
Loved it.
But the thing is, and I said this, I forget if it was in our chat or on my Discord. I don't remember. And I said, unfortunately, like it looks like they just forced an old man to just get on screen one more time. And the bad part is, like, so the thumbnail for the trailer that we've shared down below, it's actually from Rotten Tomatoes, which means they probably pulled that specifically. He just looks like a scared old man. He looks like he just fucked up or shit himself, one of the two. And it's probably both realistically. And I'm just like, that sets the tone. But like in the age of faceless actors, we could have, and we're going to have new adventures of younger Indiana Jones in this movie. We're going to see shit that we never did, or expanding on things we didn't see that happened off screen potentially. Like we're going to see a past adventure of this. And like, okay, so you proved that we don't need old ass Harrison Ford to exist to get new stories.
Y'all heard it here. Shoki hates old people.
No, I don't hate old people. I hate when they force somebody who probably should retire from on-screen acting, especially in an action role.
Why?
Because he can't do it.
Why can't he do it? You haven't even seen the movie yet.
Because he already couldn't do it 10 years ago for The Force Awakens. Not 10 years ago, but you get my point.
Way, again, to Ricky's point of, you know, like, so I have the same issue with Picard, right?
Thank you.
Should 80-year-old men be doing any type of action at all?
Well, you better tell that to Tom Cruise now, because he's running towards 80 like a fucking speed freak, still doing his own stunts.
Yeah.
I mean, but Tom Cruise is a special kind of insane.
Right up there with
maybe the Scientologists aren't wrong.
I mean,
you know what Scientologists do love?
Rikki.
We have no proof to the contrary, so for now we're going to say yes.
Yes.
They do. And I appreciates that about them.
Yeah. you appreciate that about them, Big Dan?
Yeah. Squirrely Dan. Yeah, we haven't had enough Letterkenny references in this episode. We haven't even had a To Be Fair yet. So, but I think that and I appreciate that people want more Indiana Jones content, but like there was a rumor years ago that Chris Pratt was going to take over to be Indiana Jones in the modern day, and he sort of fulfilled that within the Jurassic World universe. He's very Indiana Jones-y in the in at least in the demeanor, not the actions, because we didn't get that in that character. But like we could have somebody just do a new one, or in the case of
they were going to with Shia LaBeouf. He was supposed to be a continuation, but that movie bombed so fucking hard because it was trash.
And that was post Bayverse, right? That was right after he got done playing in the Bayverse movies.
That was before he lost his fucking mind and started getting canceled from everything.
Yeah. Before he went full Kanye. By the way, never go full Kanye.
Never go full. God damn it! Quit.
I'm beating Rikki to every joke today.
I'm sick, and I'm on medication.
Yeah, so sure, every excuse you need, buddy. My 5-hour energy kicked in. That's all it is. So, and he has
my coffee wore off and my sickness kicked in. So,
yep. Your coffee wore off, but the coughing did not.
Nope. But
yeah, I don't have I need to put I need to put that sound in here.
You said that sound.
Yeah. That sound. Edit that sound into here.
Not the drum snare, that sound.
Yes, that noise. Yeah, whatever that or womp womp womp. I need to get those sound effects to add to the soundboard. I don't know. Like, to me, it's either get somebody new, recast the character finally, don't reinvent the character, just recast. And because you already know they can shoot new movies in the era that they want to play around in the 40s, 50s, and stuff like that, or even earlier.
You can't make Nazi movies nowadays. That's why we're all fighting.
But it doesn't have to always be the Nazis. There's plenty of other people that were shitty in the world. It's just that the Nazis happen to be trying to find powerful relics with the Thule Society and all that stuff going on. You know, and it'd be funny, in my mind, if we want to cross over some bullshit, have it set in the Hellboy universe at the same time.
Oh, I need you to stop talking now.
But like good Hellboy, not this remake.
You're ruining Indiana Jones just by talking.
No, because imagine Indiana Jones accidentally running into the BPRD.
No, I'm not going to imagine that. You need to fucking stop.
Or what if he actually worked for the BPRD at some point?
Oh my God! And what didn't suck ass, but we don't live in that world.
So. I live in a world where Hulk didn't suck ass.
What crossovers could we do?
Actually, it's a good point. What? Guys, in the comments down below, what other period correct crossovers could we get with Indiana Jones?
The first person that says Schindler's List is getting a free Christmas gift from me.
Schindler's List.
Yeah, but then he'd have to be in black and white.
That's a period piece. No, he could be the girl in the red dress. He could be the girl.
That is a little early, and he didn't go to Germany.
Excuse you?
Well, I mean, because that happened. Wait, hold on. When did the first Indiana Jones movie take place? What year?
In like 30.
So was it post? Okay, so it was before
pre the kickoff of the war, but after the Nazis were in power.
So in theory, he could, because that's the other thing is like with all the other stuff he did in that era, he never joined the military that we know of, right?
Nope.
He was just an archaeologist / professor.
Just an archaeologist. Talk. Listen to this motherfucker.
I mean, clearly he tried to retire a few times. Oh God! I just had a horrible thought. What if what if they CGI us a fucking Sean Connery?
No.
Oh God!
I can't even believe you spoke those words,
dude. They're already doing a CGI young version of him to do shit in that same era. What if they do it? What if they fucking do it?
Terrible.
Okay, bye.
I'm not advocating for it, but this is Hollywood.
This is the secret, motherfucker. You just spoke it into existence, you piece of shit.
Hey, the movie already exists more or less, so it's not like I can make it happen. It's still
time for them to fuck it up. It ain't out yet.
Take it back.
Hey, remember, I said it out loud, but the internet hasn't heard it yet, so therefore it can't come true.
If that motherfucker shows up in that movie, Shoky, I'm done talking.
You gonna blame me?
That's it. It's gonna be all your fault. I'm going to come on these things. And I'm not going to ever speak or interact. I'm only going to speak and interact with the other person that's on the show.
So all you're going to do is just sucks over and over.
I'm gonna be like, hey Rusty, will you tell Shoky blah 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 blah? I'm gonna do like that. I'm gonna do like we're 5 fucking years old in fucking elementary school.
Well, good news is we have quite some time till the movie comes out, so Ricky doesn't have to quit the show just yet.
I'm not quitting the show. I'm gonna stay and just ignore you.
That's effectively quitting. Okay, was that our last trailer to discuss? Realistically, no. Guardians 3. Speaking of, damn it, I had a Chris Pratt. I had a Chris Pratt fucking reference, and I didn't use it to segue. God damn it!
I thought that's where you were going.
Oh. No, I was still talking about it. Unfortunately, that's not where my brain went. I'm tired again. So we're gonna pretend
Guardians 3.
We're gonna pretend that I segued into that properly.
No fixing of it.
No, not fixing it. I'm just pretending.
Guardians 3 looks good. So
I hope there's a reference in Guardians 3.
I hope there is too. I hope they talk about how much shit it was.
Now, my only thing about Guardians 3, one, the trailer looks beautiful, and of course they picked the exact right music for it. My only thing that's sad about it is it's the final Guardians thing that we're getting.
We don't know that. Look, we were just having a conversation about how they don't know how to leave trilogies alone anymore.
Well, this is our final Guardians movie. It doesn't mean the characters won't crop up elsewhere. But they said specifically
money, they'll make a Guardians 4. I don't give a fuck what they said,
because they have said specifically that, and I think even Karen Gillan said she's essentially done playing Nebula. So we'll see what happens.
Cool story. Nobody gives a fuck about what any of those people say, because when it comes down to it, money talks, bullshit walks, dude. Harrison Ford said he was never doing Han Solo again. They threw money at him. He brought Han Solo back. I don't fucking care what anybody says. They can say whatever they want to. If that movie makes $1 bajillion, they're gonna make 4, 5, and 6 out of that motherfucker. I don't care what you say. I don't care what they say. They are going forward the money, and if it just stays in line with these have been some of my favorite movies just to enjoy as a movie. Have been these ones in the MCU. They're just enjoyable. I love watching them, and I love music, and I love the music they put in these movies, and I love how he ties them all together. And I read a whole write-up where he comes up with the music first, and then finds a way to make the movie fit to the music, which is amazing.
Which I think is what he does to everything he's involved. James Gunn, who we're referring to, he did the same thing with Peacemaker. Peacemaker's on that same line because music was a big deal in that movie.
Music's
to that
big
character
deal for James Gunn. That's all.
Yeah,
that's like
and he writes his characters around that concept. Writes not necessarily the story, but the characters
plot point around it.
Yeah, and the thing is that he can use the music either as a reference point or just background, or actually diegetic in the movie. Which is cool to have it in the movie, which was actually interesting, like especially when it like pauses or cuts out for some reason, and then you realize it was there the whole time. Like it's not just playing on the screen for your benefit; it's actually there. And I love it when they actually make those direct references. But it feels like because we are apparently going to get a new volume added to it with this movie. For the music, was it amazing?
I have the first
totally awesome mix or whatever.
No, just the awesome mix volume 1 and 2. I have both.
So we will have an awesome mix 3, even though I doubt it'll be on a cassette, quote unquote, in this movie, because he got a Zune before. But I guess we may or may not reference the fact that he got like 300 new songs from different eras now. So in theory, Peter Quill's music taste may have expanded. Well, maybe not, because he was gone for 5 years. So we'll see what happens. Oh God, he's even more stuck out of time because now he's missed the last 5 years of the universe.
And how are they going to bring Gamora back into this? Because they're not leaving that alone.
No, Gamora, because we do see Gamora in this. She's with an offshoot of the Ravagers. But the thing is, it's not our Gamora, obviously, the one that we're familiar with. It's from the past Gamora. So she's also like out of time. So she's several years. So she got pulled from 2014.
Redo the whole him and her falling in love plot line again?
I don't think so, and I think that's part of this story is that Quill is still not over it because they're obviously going to interact in this, but without having the experiences with the previous set of Guardians, as it were, they won't have that connection anymore. So we're going to get a slightly more feral version of Gamora because not only did she not have the Guardians to build a family with, she went with some fucking Ravagers, which is probably slightly closer to Thanos. And she now lives in a world without Thanos or his army, mostly. I don't know how that works technically. So I don't know. She's from a different timeline entirely. And she's joining in with people who were skipped over.
Trying to remind her of why they fell in love so they get back together.
I think it'll come up, but I
don't
doubt
think-
it'll work.
I mean, I don't think they can write a storyline in that way, right? It's he has to accept the fact that it isn't the Gamora that he fell in love with, and then is it the same Gamora or not, right? Which is, I think that'll be like a subplot of the movie.
Right? But it's also Nebula too, because that's her sister. So she has to accept that that's not her sister, and vice versa, because because the one has now had completely different experiences after that certain point of time, right?
Yeah,
And they were already jacking with that timeline when they went back in time in Infinite or in Endgame. So
I don't know how I feel about Cousin Eustace being Adam Warlock.
Yeah, when they said that dude was going to be playing Adam Warlock, I was like, I think you could have got somebody better, in my opinion. But, we'll see what he does with the character. I mean, the characters already has to be different from the comics anyways, because there's no soul stone in his head. There's some kind of stone, but we don't know what it's going to be. And whether or not he'll have any connection to what remains of the Infinity Stones.
And shit.
Well, because the Infinity Stones were basically just dusted. He couldn't get rid of them entirely because the universe would cease to exist, but their atoms, their makeup is still part of the universe. He destroyed them, but he didn't eliminate them from existence. So, they're still sort of there. So maybe we'll see a future where somebody like him who's directly connected to them, or even like Vision or somebody like that, could maybe find a way to reconstitute the stones from what they did, because of the connection they're supposed to have.
Sorry, but did we, the humans, not somehow recreate a synthetic Mind Stone for the White Vision that showed up in WandaVision? I mean,
I think that's
possible.
Don't come around here with your logic poking holes.
I think that's more or less just it's nothing more than like, it's not even a synthetic stone. It's just a it's just a thing on his head.
Representation of his
it's just his consciousness, more or less, not the stone. What in White Vision, wherever the hell White Vision is, still out there somewhere in the universe. We don't even know. I need y'all to
quit saying that phrase over and over. It sounds really bad out of context.
It's gonna be the new Avengers, right?
Something. Who knows where he's gonna fit in?
West Coast Avengers.
Because we're gonna have to get Wanda back somehow with that too. So
nope.
Yes.
That chick is toast.
Wanda's coming back somehow.
Did anybody notice the Power Rangers reference in that trailer, by the way?
I did. With the multiple colored uniforms going out.
The 5 of them jump out in their spacesuits, and they're all 5 different colors. I'm like, okay.
And the funny thing is, to me, that seemed to reference like the kind of ridiculous colorfulness kind of things.
Teletubbies.
That too, but I was thinking like back in the comic books, like you would see characters on screen, and to make sure who's who when they're not in their normal uniforms or up close, you would see them in bold colored something or other to know, so who it is. And to me, that's the way it because they're supposed to be exploring somewhere. That'd be so weird if it was actually called Somewhere, because we have Nowhere that they now own. They bought it from the collector, which is interesting. It's like, really? All right. And so they're setting up their new Guardian / Ravager HQ there, because they still have the Ravager emblem, but they're getting into their more Guardians like colorful or colored uniforms, the red and blue, which is interesting. But somebody, Sean, asked me the other day, who do you think dies in this one? Because they're definitely showing that somebody's gonna die.
Peter Quill.
I think it's Rocket, because this movie seems like it's going to be Rocket centric.
Well, this was the one. There was a comic arc where they did the thing about the planet he was
from,
experimented on and all that stuff, where he did have a girlfriend that was like a weasel or something.
The otter.
Like that.
Yeah, she's an otter. Yeah.
And that was straight out of the comics as soon as I saw that.
Yeah.
Like, I remember that story.
And we got the high evolution.
And she dies in the comics. She dies saving him in the comics. So it might be her that dies in the movie.
But why would Quill be that upset about that?
Because it upsets Rocket.
I think they might reverse it.
Yeah.
So the interesting story too, like obviously we're getting a Rocket backstory and Adam Warlock is in there, but how does Adam Warlock tie into this story at all? If like we've done the Infinity Stones, so
well he was from the gold people.
Yeah, but no, he's right. But because Adam Warlock had a purpose into the story, and like because everything
in the comics, his purpose was
that's what we're getting at.
In the movie timeline, he's being built by the Sovereign to go fuck them up for stealing their batteries.
Yeah. So in theory, he's the perfect version of a Sovereign
He's a superpowered sovereign that's going to go get payback for them stealing their batteries.
Because they've been gone for 5 years due to the snap.
Yeah,
we don't know what the status of his revenge would have been. So we don't know where he's going to squeeze into this, how he's going to be shoehorned in story-wise.
So how about this for a theory then? So they shoehorn him in as the antagonist at the beginning, but he ends up joining the Guardians at the end to whatever.
So he's the Loki of the story.
Well, that's an interesting theory, but considering they're introducing a brand new quote-unquote important character in a movie where they have already said they're not going to do any actual sequels to these characters. So, like, I think, like, yeah, he's definitely going to be an antagonist somehow. But, like, the question is he after the Guardians entirely, or are they only after Rocket? Because Rocket was the one who stole the batteries in the first place. So, how it's going to fit in with the High Evolutionary, how it's going to fit in with the planet that they end up on that looks like Earth but has hybrid animals, which I'm going to assume is... I don't think it's on Earth. A lot of people said it's on Earth. Like,
I know, but that show was funny as fuck when you hit him in the head.
Yeah, hit the little girl in the ball.
That kid.
Yeah.
That show was so funny.
So,
my wife is... Rusty might not know this. Some of y'all have listened to know this. She is an ESE specialist. That's what she does for a living. She just finished her master's degree in it. So she loves Drax's character because when he was first introduced, a lot of people that are on the spectrum loved him as a character and have kind of taken him as their superhero because how he acts is very ASD at times.
Yeah.
And I was telling her, I was like, but I've noticed that in the recent stuff, like the last movie and some of the stuff in the Infinity series, and then even in this Christmas movie, is that they've amplified it. Is I think Disney and stuff heard that people liked it for that reason and have taken it to the extreme level. Because this Drax that was in the
Christmas
holiday special is not the same Drax that was in the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
No,
he is way more. The first one, he was just kind of confused by everything. This one, it's literally like he has a disability that he's working against.
Well, and that's the family aspect because. Yeah, I mean, there were years and years and years of the Guardians being together since the first movie and even the second one, and then we never got to see their connection to each other, other than the fact they are treating each other like family. He had a family.
I don't dislike that they're doing that.
No,
but I don't like them taking it to the extreme. It's a point.
Yeah, so it's like they've amplified that because one, they are all in a way anti-heroes. Yeah, they were all criminals to begin with that are decided to do good.
Heroes.
Yeah, they're accidental heroes. And like Drax in this is basically just been, he doesn't serve the purpose he was in the comics in any way, shape, or form. He's just he
was Drax the Destroyer in the comics.
He was made to destroy Thanos. Yeah. And now he was accidentally funny or incidentally funny before. Now he's actively being funny.
Yeah, it's all the time. It doesn't stop.
And it's just like, but when he does, I assume there will be something in there. But it's like the sorrowful, revenge-driven Drax is gone.
Yes.
And now it's like he didn't have the ability to be happy before. Now he's overly happy.
Yeah, it's like he swung the other end.
He swung so far away. So I agree with you that maybe it's a little too much. It's a little too doofy for a character that's supposed to be very serious and murdery. But given the way his species has been lined out, like it seems like it's always going to be extremes.
No.
So like that disability you're talking about doesn't have it. He doesn't have a middle.
She likes that. Like she looks at it from the psychological standpoint. Like she was breaking it down, talking to me about his actions and stuff like that, and she loves that. And I think it's fine. I think it's great. You know, if people feel that represents them and it works that way, fine.
Yeah.
But I don't want Disney to take it to the extreme. In this movie, I don't want it to be an extreme.
I also feel like Batista would fight back if they wanted to push it too far. Like I feel like he's
pegging a kid in the face with a basketball is pretty far.
Yeah, but he also did some really dumb shit early on too. Because like I'm certain, because we're also lacking the context of why he pegged the kid in the face with the ball in the first place. I assume it was either throwing the ball back or they were trying to initiate some type of playing situation. But he doesn't have a half measure.
Yeah,
he only has nothing or full on.
That's what I'm saying. It's a social skills thing.
Yeah,
that's why it falls on the ASD spectrum.
Yeah, and because he doesn't have the ability to turn it down, whether that's the attitude or strength, it feels like half the time he's literally just putting in 100% effort without wanting to. It's an on or off switch. There's no dial. There's no dial of destiny for Drax's abilities.
That's a callback, y'all.
Segue backwards.
A reverse segue off a cliff.
But
which, by the way, the inventor of the Segway died on a Segway going off a cliff.
And isn't it ironic? Speaking of Canadians, don't you think?
No. Hey, what about? So Guardians is the second movie in Phase 5. So what if
5? It's not even in 4. Oh yeah, 5. No, sorry, forgot.
No, 4's over, dude.
I forgot. 4. I forgot. We
She-Hulk shitted our way out of Phase 4.
So what if Kang is somehow in this movie?
He's going to have to be. They're going to start dropping him and everything.
As long as it's Kang and not Val. Somehow Val recruits Adam Warlock.
Val.
From
the time guy from Loki.
No, Val.
No, the girl.
And Madam Hydra.
Oh, why do I keep saying it's the girl?
No, that's why I'm making the joke. Because one of the last times we talked, because obviously she was pretty prominent in Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. I wanted to say Ragnarok because I know I'm stuck on Thor. That was the Ragnarok for Wakanda. But either way, the fact that she's basically working behind the scenes and accruing power in different ways, I equated her to the new Thanos, not Kang. Kang is a much bigger villain, but she's doing right now on screen what Thanos did in the background of Phase 1 and Phase 2. Like we never saw Thanos doing stuff, but he was doing stuff. Hell, we never saw him get the Power Stone. He wiped out Xandar, and we never even saw it.
But Kevin Feige talked about how they were going to they were going to split the MCU into the ground,
Earth and Galactic,
and outer space, right? So she could be
Earth Thanos,
the big villain, the big villain on Earth, right? For Daredevil, Spider-Man, Captain America, right? And then Kang is going to be the big villain in space, but
he's not even in space. He's sort of universal in a way.
Yeah,
he goes beyond that concept. So
because he's in the quantum realm too.
Right.
So but he's
Kang
multiversal as well, right?
Is Kang going to be our eventual way to getting Galactus in on the galactic side for Phase 6?
As long as he's not a giant cloud of nanobots like fucking.
No, what would Kang What would Kang's connection to Galactus be?
Maybe Galactus stops Kang in another form from another multiverse.
Oh my god! And maybe they all show up in Hellboy's universe, and they all run into the BP.
Hold on.
The Avengers have always been the ones that have defeated Kang, right? So I think that's fine.
But I'm not saying the main Kang, because obviously we're gonna have Council of Kang somewhere.
Kang also leaves the door open. I might be mixing them up. Never mind. Go ahead.
Sorry, buddy. I was going with So they've shown us Fantastic Four in Doctor Strange
in odd universe,
and they've said they're going to do a Fantastic Four. So I think your connection to Galactus is Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer, the Eternals.
Yeah, no, I get you there.
Right.
But I'm just saying, because we're gonna have to find a way to go from this big bad to the next big bad, but have to feel
late Phase 6, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right towards the end.
What I'm saying, right?
It starts Phase 6, I think.
Kang is your Phase 5 villain.
Yeah.
Could be your Phase 6 or Phase 7.
It should be. That's what I'm getting at. Yeah.
Ridiculous to think that
we're thinking 5 years out.
More years of storyline to go.
Yeah.
Right.
So and they can do, once they get that far, that's fine. But here's the hard part. So Thanos was a huge universal problem. Kang is a multiversal problem.
Right.
Time problem.
And time problem as well. Well, we sort of lump everything quantum into that area, even though quantum doesn't necessarily mean that. But Galactus just goes back to being a galactic problem and even to a planetary problem. He's actually backwards when it comes to becoming a giant issue, no pun intended. Yeah. But like that's where like it's
Galactus
almost
would be more the mid-level boss.
Yeah, that's what's funny.
Would be the final boss.
And we've already gotten Eternity, who is such a, no pun intended, massive being within the universe. And with the future of Thor already kind of rough, kind of rocky. They don't know exactly where they're going to go with the Thor universe. And even Hemsworth said, look, the only reason I'm coming back is the story is interesting enough. So the question is, do we just, where we are right now as it exists, Guardians are going away. Thor is potentially going away. But
how the fuck is that even a reality, dude? Guardians, which are great movies, all three of them have been, or all two of them have been good so far, and they're already canceling that one. Thor, one of them was good, one of them was really good, and the other two were meh. And they're still talking about making more of those. Get the fuck out of here.
But the problem is there's no, but like I just said, it's like realistically, Taika Waititi's probably not going to come back to do another Thor movie. Thank God. But Hemsworth,
you're sitting there hollering about fucking Harrison Ford needs to fucking retire. Taika Waititi needs to fucking retire. I don't want to hear that motherfucker.
He just needs to not do this property anymore. He can
he needs to not do anything anymore.
He can keep doing his kooky TV shows that are great.
No, I don't want nothing from that motherfucker. He can go back to New Zealand and make fucking local television.
He does, and it gets on Netflix or Hulu. But to have such prominent characters, especially in the galactic sense right now, like we've other than Eternals, which meh at best. On a good day, meh. There's no other galactic presidents.
A better book, like if you could read it and really ingest what they were trying to do in that movie, it would have been better.
Yeah. So if we eliminate Thor, who was, and especially in the last movie, all about going around the cosmos, and we eliminate the Guardians once again, all about the cosmos, what do we have out there that isn't just Adam Warlock, basically? So is this all just to set up Adam Warlock to continue sort of in this mindset?
So you don't have to have an Adam Warlock movie either, right? The Guardians of the Galaxy in the comics was a rotating roster. So
because it was an organization.
Yeah. So you can keep the Guardians of the Galaxy and take out Chris Pratt and take out Gamora and take out...
And they don't have to be every movie.
And Adam Warlock becomes Chris Pratt's replacement, and
like the only tie to all of them, I think Drax was on every version.
Drax was in, and Groot was in many of them, along with Rocket, but not all of them. The same thing with X-Men, X-Force, all those Avengers is rotating cast, except that we got so stuck with the idea of no, we've got these 6 main characters, and then we've got 8 peripherals. Yep. So that's kind of the problem. Who did just message me?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. So, but it's like, what do we do now especially when they said, okay, we're done? I was like, okay, but the world's not done around you. It's a Black Panther problem again. It's like, okay, cool. These characters are basically nullified, but the universe still has to happen around where they used to be. So it's like, you can't make it around them and then move on. So you have to be able to branch off and make something that still works without them. Or even if they're become cameo characters. If they become cameo characters.
Yeah.
And come into bigger movies.
You could keep Guardians of the Galaxy going with a different roster of characters. You've still got Captain Marvel as well, right? Which we've kind of forgotten. Well, you have the Marvels coming, right?
Yeah.
So
which I care about, but other people don't. Like Ricky or Mike.
Unfortunate for those people.
What did I don't like?
The Marvels.
The Marvels.
Talking about like,
Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel.
They're Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel.
Is there another? Oh, there's what's her face?
There's
the one that was
Photon, whatever. I think it's Photon is what she's. Yeah, that was her name. Yeah.
She was. In
I don't dislike it. I just don't care.
That's what I said. You don't care about it, doesn't? Yeah. I said you don't really need it. No, you don't care if it happens. Yeah, but like and guess what? If you hate what's her face as Captain Marvel, you can always fucking recast. It's like it doesn't matter.
She keeps her stupid mouth shut, she'll be fine. Like she wasn't bad in the part. And a
lot of people argue
trash. Well, it was her outside of the movie that fucking ruined it.
Well, everybody actually hated her in that movie. Like it's from And like I enjoyed the movie, and I understood the characterization, but a lot of people say she played it so flat and so pointless that like, yeah, it's like, get her out of there. It's like, but you understand that was the point of the character. She had no personality.
Mhm.
It's like she was discovering her personality through her memories finally getting unlocked. And when she came back in Infinity War and Endgame, and you know, the little cameos, the little 5 minutes that she was in there, I guess it was just Endgame, right? And funny thing is, she played Captain Marvel in Endgame before playing Captain Marvel in her own movie. I thought that was funny. She had no concept of how we got here, you know, so she had to go backwards with her own characterization. Either way, but like to get her in a future sense, yeah, out in the universe, cool. That there's still all that set up with the scrolls. We've got Secret Invasion. We've got all this other stuff coming that what she can be tied to, along with the Marvels movie itself, which was set up in Miss Marvel. And then wherever else that's supposed to go in this ridiculous universe, they're now having to try to tie back together once again without our original central cast. You know, trying to build up from the Disney Plus series, which, as everyone else says, they're hit or miss that we don't even know if we care if those characters come back. You know, and then what? We only have a very small handful of remaining characters like Doctor Strange. Okay, but he's off doing his magic world stuff, seemingly. And then from there, it's like, who else do we care about? The Hulk can't have his own movie yet, as far as we know. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention this. We haven't been able to talk about it since it came out. Because a friend of mine is like, is Namor going to get his own movie? And it turns out, no, because Universal owns the rights to Namor, like the Hulk. So no, we can't. I don't know why they'd have a random character like Namor, but you know, whatever. So, I mean, it's fine. He doesn't seem like a character that should get his own thing. He should be a side character involved in other stuff. Unfortunately, whenever the Hulk can finally do his Planet Hulk movie, or World War Hulk, I guess is really what it'll be. That'll be fun because that's both. That's galactic and on Earth, depending on how they do it, you know? So it's like, it's once again, the phase 4, like, the intensive care unit. It's not even the MCU unit. We're just trying to put shit back together after what happened with Endgame and then the train wreck of COVID and people getting fired. You know, so now we can finally, for phase 5, hopefully start getting a cohesive universe back together with new characters that we can cling on to for like 5 minutes before we move on to phase. It seems like phase 5 is going to be another transitionary thing when we're dealing with the not multiverse, the quantum realm stuff, the time travel stuff, the multiverse stuff, until we finally get to X-Men / Fantastic Four in phase 6, phase 7, you know, so, and then Avengers have to pretend to be in there somehow, you know. I don't know. That's the biggest problem with what has happened over the last few years is like they had a plan after Endgame, and then that's when everything took a giant shit.
Well, I think you made a good point on your previous podcast too, though, right? I mean, we had such a huge build up to the Infinity War Endgame ending, right? That and it was so good, right? That you go, well, what do you do now, right? So it's like a sports team rebuilding, right? Like you have your dynasty lineup, and then the guys all retired. So now you're in rebuild mode, right? Which is what phase 4 is, right? We're building up to the next thing, and phase 5 will do that too, and hopefully we get a decent ending to another storyline with, you know, a villain like Kang being introduced. We'll just have to wait and see and keep our fingers crossed. But yeah, it's hard to it's hard to build to such a climax like Endgame and then expect
we need
that same level, right, going forward.
And we don't need a giant villain to constantly be an issue. We need a lot of continuing small villains to give us a reason to give a shit. And that's where like the Disney Plus series need to be written a little bit better to keep some kind of, because there were constant villains. Most of them never died, but the MCU, we just kill off our villains and just make up new ones, or we bring in other ones. Whereas like, even the Netflix series kept some of their villains moving through them, like Kingpin. Kingpin got locked up for season 2, and then he came back in season 3. And then like even with Luke Cage, you know, some of the same villains, but then we get like the Serpent Society, basically, you know, Is that what they were called, or am I crossing things over?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we get all our snaky villains, that they're all sort of tied together from season 1, and then Iron Fist happened. But it's like having a continuous set of villains, or a connected set of villains that doesn't just die, is a good idea. Hydra's gone, so we have to deal with somebody else.
So real quick interruption. I just saw something posted.
Sure.
In the Rise of the Beasts movie.
Yeah.
Scourge's voice is Tyrion from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
We missed that when we were talking about that earlier.
Yeah,
Peter Dinklage?
Peter Dinklage. So they're gonna make a big old 18-wheeler robot from Tyrion. Cool.
Big giant truck, little tiny human.
Yes. Little tiny human.
War in your pocket.
This is also true. Oh, and by the way, something I want to bring up that seems to have disappeared into the ether. There's supposed to be a live-action Gundam movie happening that was announced like 4 years ago, that we've seen no progress on. We talk about MCU, we talk about all those other things, and it's supposed to basically be within the original Universal Century timeline, which is the one that has the most story that's built out over decades. And nothing. Fucking nothing. So that could actually be another cinematic universe that could be well done if they ever fucking get around to it. But no, we still gotta
give me a Robotech live action movie. I would watch the shit out of it.
And you think that would happen, but the fucking rights with Robotech are so messy. I don't know who could technically make that happen. We can barely get official things from Robotech.
They did sort out the Takara Tomy, Hasbro, and whoever owned Robotech, right? Because there was that whole Skyfire.
Yes. So that was settled.
So that's finally been settled. So
it's the rights on the actual, and Joe knows this better than I, so we need to have Joe come on and talk about it. I think it's the rights of the actual animation.
I feel like we're pushing slowly into racist territory when the only time we bring Joe on is talk about Gundam.
Well, no, because Joe knows so well. Joe knows a lot about the whole Robotech situation. He knows the ins and outs of everything that went wrong there. So that's why I bring that up.
I only know about it from the Transformer side of it, right? Which is very, very little compared to the whole, the animation and the music even, I think is mixed up in there somehow too. And
the music for sure. Yeah, I forgot that was actually a problem too. I think we do need to wrap up because we've been going for almost 3.5 hours. So life has to find its way. So either way, guys, that's going to be the end of this episode. And as usual, I want to say we're sorry.
I'm not
for something.
Fuck y'all.
We've offended someone about something. Okay,
don't care.
It's going to be renamed She-Hulk is Trash Podcast.
The name of this one is goddamn all this editing. Thanks a lot, Ricky.
I'm just gonna start bleeping it from now on because cutting it out is actually annoying. So either way, guys, of course, like and subscribe to the podcast if you're following it somewhere where it's actually on a podcast format, not YouTube. By all means, hit that follow button, hit the like thing, leave us however many stars or whatever shapes there are. I assume it's like Lucky Charms. You got horseshoes, fucking lucky stars, the clovers, whatever, however many of those there are.
And the rainbows for Mike.
There you go. So if there's however many there are of those, give us the most amount. And then leave comments or write to us at NowYouMadeItAwkwardMail@gmail.com if you want to give us topics and or questions, or you want to tell us how bad we are or how much Sean needs to come back on the podcast for Ricky's sake, and which other Canadian people do we need to have come on. And of course, you can follow all of my shows.
We've already had 2 of them on here. What are there, 5 left? There's not that many people in Canada.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's at least Trudeau. We could have Trudeau come on. He's a Canadian guy.
God.
Either way. So you could, of course, follow.
Rage quit.
Yeah, Rusty Rage quit. He's like, no, he may or may not be a Trudeau supporter. We don't know. We haven't had that discussion yet. Next time on Nymea. So either way, we're gonna have a Nymea extra all about Canadian politics.
Oh God,
that would be fun. Actually, either way,
Canadian politics is pretty boring.
Yeah, it is. It's just a whole bunch of A. The A's have it.
Oh, God.
So either way, damn it. Subscribe to things. I don't care anymore. I gotta go.
Rusty stuff's gonna be down there too.
Yeah, Rusty stuff will also be there. Go subscribe to Rusty things. Go watch his Transformers reviews that he's gonna now have to scramble to get done. So it's fine.
Okay.
I already promoted all my stuff, but yeah, go check out my YouTube channel, Transformers Masterpiece Theater, and the Rusty Mechanic on YouTube. Like Shoki said, please give me some likes and subscribes. Very close to 1,000 subscribers. I do have a contest going on. You guys can also check out that when I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to be giving away a Fans Toys Apache or a Fans Toys Iceman because I happen to have extras of those. So if you want in on that, go check out my videos.
And he does good videos. I've watched a couple of them even before I knew Rusty or who he was. I'd seen a couple of his videos, so they're enjoyable.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Yeah, we're very happy to finally get you to come on the show, even though I only invited you a little while ago.
I was happy to be invited. Happy to be here, guys. It was a lot of fun.
And it was definitely good. It was definitely a good old time. And with that, guys.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Yes.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats.